Welcome to another episode of the Strange Motion Wave podcast. I'm your host, Tim Strange, along with my first wife,
Carrie Strange.
She loves it when I say that.
I'm an idiot.
She knows I couldn't get another one. You probably got to know these guys way back when they worked at the SoCal Speed Shop. They're currently still in the old SoCal building. They now run Veazie Brothers Fabrication. They've recently had an amazing week and a half, an amazing whole year. They recently won the World's Most Beautiful Truck Show award a couple weeks ago at Pomona. Also won the Goodguys Truck of the Year early. They also debuted the Lorenzini, if I'm saying that right, Orange Roadster at the Grand National Roadster Show, which was one of my personal fan favorites, and I think it was the overall fan favorite. And on the cover, both vehicles on the cover of Modern Rotting this month. So this was going to be a different interview than we have normally done, Carrie. What is the computer doing?
It's fine, Tim.
Okay.
He freaks out.
I freak out when stuff on
happens.
our side pops up.
Yeah, I'm seeing stuff pop up over here too.
Yeah.
Okay. I've only talked to these guys maybe a few times over a bunch of years. I don't think Carrie's ever met you guys. So we have a lot to learn. So welcome tonight, Justin and Evan Veazie. Who's who?
I'm Evan.
And I'm Justin.
Awesome.
Evan's the older one?
Yes.
How much different years are you guys?
5 years difference.
Okay.
Oh.
Which one of you is your mama's favorite?
Probably him.
I don't know.
Is there more of you in the family, or is there just two of you? Do you have any sisters?
There's four. We have two sisters.
Okay.
Oh, they're the favorite then for
They're
sure.
sisters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We
get called when there's problems. There's problems at mom's house. We go over there and have to fix it.
Okay.
There you go.
So we like to go way back. Little Veazie Brothers, how did you grow up? Did you grow up around hot roddings or hot rodding? Hot roddings? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
How did you get into that? What were you guys growing up as a kid? Were your parents hot rodders?
We kind of grew up around cars all our life. Our dad had a restoration shop restoring Packards and Duesenbergs, Ferraris, all kind of stuff that went to Pebble Beach. So we spent a lot of days after school at my dad's shop helping him. He was a painter, and we just spent a lot of time at his shop around cars that went to Pebble Beach and different car shows. But he was never really into the hot rodding. And then fast forward till probably I was just out of high school and I got a job. My dad actually started with Tommy Sparks and Bonnie Automotive that raced land speed cars against Alex back like after the war. My dad started with him and he got me a job with Tommy Sparks, like kind of taking care of his own personal collection of cars.
Is he the one that David Steele owns Tommy Sparks Roadster, right?
Yeah.
David lives at Tommy's house.
David actually bought Tommy Sparks' house in North Hollywood, but I used to work
he was moved to Nashville for music for a while, and then when that happened, he moved back out there.
Yeah, so he's actually living in Tommy Sparks' house. While I was working with Tommy Sparks, just taking care of his own collection of hot rods and classic cars, kind of just and he took me to one. Remember the Peterson used to have those Deuce Days events?
Mm-hmm.
And he took me to one of those dinners before the event, and that's where I met Pete Chapouris, and he told Pete that he should hire me, and then I got a job at SoCal Speed Shop, and I worked at SoCal Speed Shop for 13 or 14 years. I started sweeping floors and then worked my way up to doing all kinds of fabrication and everything we're doing today. And I even say if Pete was still here.
We like to get high school stories too. Carrie, always like to know, were you in any sports or were you just a car guy in high school?
No, yeah, we were into sports. All our life we played soccer. So I grew up playing soccer in high school. Then I went to college.
I know that's everywhere now. I think that's weird. We were Midwest kids. There was no soccer. There wasn't even town soccer. There is now. Mm-hmm. It was just football, basketball, track,
baseball,
volleyball. We didn't even have school baseball. You had just played for the town.
Oh, yeah,
we
we
didn't have
didn't
school
either.
baseball. So
Yeah,
soccer.
we
That's one of my-
club soccer and
You guys, as one of my customers' friends, Eric Hansen's friends call them grass fairies. You guys were grass fairies.
okay, cool.
Sure, whatever. No, I mean, Evan played soccer the whole time. I got to high school and decided soccer wasn't for me, and I went over and started playing high school football. But I didn't really do much. I was the kicker, so I guess that really counts too, right? A little bit more credit. Got ran over half the time.
But he
Yeah.
ended up getting a full ride scholarship to South Dakota being a kicker. So
Yeah.
Nice.
So well, Evan was, getting in with the SoCal crowd, and starting the hot rod stuff. I got shipped off to school and kind of, I don't know, learned to hate snow. So
That's why we live in
I'd get in
Tennessee.
trouble for sneaking back and going to like the Moon Ice Christmas party and the Grand National and not telling my parents I was in town for a car show. Just fly back and then fly back to school. But no, I mean, we always kind of we'd go to our dad's shop and he'd be doing all these really cool restorations and stuff, but it was always like we were building model cars in the office. It's like, why can't we change stuff? Why does it have to be the way it was? He didn't care how fast it went. It just had to look pretty. And we were over there going, why can't we change this? So
Yep. So you guys still back in high school. You're 5 years apart. So
Yeah.
you were in junior high, you were a senior.
yeah,
Okay. So what kind of students were you? And was your older brother were you the problem one or the good one, and then the other one had to follow through, or were the sisters the queens?
See, I have an older sister that was class president, smart, sports scoring records. I was a BMX kid that drove a Chevelle, worked at the body shop, and had a mohawk. So I was like, why aren't you more like your older sister?
no, our parents are always like, we had to have good grades. So we were always, if we didn't have good grades, there was no extra activity, no sports, no nothing. So they kind of stayed on us. We were honor roll, graduated with honors. But
yeah, it was more out of necessity. I tried to push that envelope and it didn't work.
yeah, I was more by the rules. Justin was more see how we can bend the rules.
Yeah,
Sorry,
rules are meant to be broken, right? I mean,
Yeah.
It's always the younger
no, I mean,
one. We're both younger ones. Yeah.
okay. I mean, it was more so of being the unapplied student. Like I didn't have to try. I always just kind of just skated by.
Yeah.
But no, we were. I mean,
And what size
Guess
high
we did
school?
all right.
What size school did you go to? Like, how
our
many?
school was huge out here. We went to high school over here in Chino, and I think my graduating class in 2005 was almost 2,000 kids.
Oh my
Holy
God.
crap.
So yeah, I had the whole culture shock when I went to Vermilion, South Dakota, and there was kids that were graduating that had like 25.
We both had less
Yeah.
than 35 in our class.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a complete culture shock. I mean,
Yeah. And did you guys, did your high school have trades programs, or was it all like English, math?
yeah. So they did. That was before they kind of got rid of all this stuff out here. All the shop classes and stuff out here have kind of gotten shut down.
Is
I
there no
remember
shop classes out there now?
No, not really.
Some schools do. Our buddy works at a high school, and they still have like an off-road ROP class where they actually have a race car team, and they go and race this buggy.
Yeah, it's what the Nora series.
Yeah, they do like that Nora series with the
wow.
kids from the high school.
Yeah, but they'll take kids from like 3 or 4 different high schools in the district to
Yeah.
make
Right.
like one class full of it.
But a lot of school
That's what they
districts
do here in our town. They bring in
Yeah.
from all over the county. We were just at the C10 show up in Nashville, and there was 2 different schools racing. They were both
Yeah.
weirdly OBS trucks, that
Yeah.
at the high school they build a truck and they autocross it. The high school kids were driving it. I thought
that's
that was
cool.
the raddest thing ever.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't make it very far into the ROP. I got sick of doing brake jobs for the teachers and fixing door dings and stuff in parents' cars because they didn't, I borrowed my dad's truck and it got a door ding in it. I'm gonna get killed. Can we fix it real quick? And you do like a quick, bump it out and block sand it real quick and get a coat of primer on it. And then the next day the dad would come in all pissed off that his truck has a primer spot on it because, we needed a project. No, you screwed up and we tried to fix it.
This was totally an episode of Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. Well, no, but then I tried my hand at wood shop and that didn't work. I got kicked out after the first day. They were afraid I was going to lose a finger because I didn't want to wait. I wanted to move forward. No, I mean,
I don't know you very well, but I can see that just in the 10 minutes that we've been talking.
yeah, you're either going to like me or you're going to really hate me. I felt bad for my younger sister. She was what, 6 or no, it's like 8 years behind us.
Yeah.
And the teachers still, like, they saw the last name and they go, "Are you Justin's sister?" She'd go, "Yeah." And she'd go, "Oh, I'm sorry." Just that was her instant response is, "I'm sorry."
I had a brother like that, an
yeah.
older brother like that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I guess we weren't that bad at kids. I probably needed a better filter in high school. I mean, still like, I went to a high school reunion and people still ate. That's 20 years later.
All right, so how many fights did you get into in school?
Surprisingly, none.
A lot of fights.
Yeah, I was good at starting shit, but I never got involved in it. No, I mean, it was always more important just to stay kind of on the clean side of things, so you didn't screw up sports. You didn't get yelled at by mom and dad. But I mean, at the same time we were doing that, there's days we didn't want to go to school. I remember going with my dad to work and he'd go, "Okay, we got to hang all the sheet metal on this car today." And I was like, "All right, I'd rather go do that than go to school." So we did that a lot.
Or if he had to get a car painted, we would
this had to get painted to keep the lights on. Okay, well, I guess we're working today.
Yeah.
we're free labor.
Yeah.
That's how I was.
Your kids need to grow up real quick.
So what did you guys have for your first cars?
I had a 62 Dodge station wagon. I still have it. So I worked on it all through junior high, beginning of high school. I think I drove it my last year of high school. I finally got it all running and got it painted. My dad had to make it look nice. And I drove it like the last year of high school, but he was always worried about make sure you don't park next to someone and get a door ding. You got to make sure like he was always watching over that car because it was his baby first. He was driving that to pick us up from elementary school, but it was, I mean, at the time, I didn't think it was cool. It was all like a patina faded light blue paint job, rust coming through it, and then I wanted it all restored. So he helped me. There's pictures of me as in junior high sitting there stripping with a clean strip wheel, cleaning all the paint off of it. And I would work like a weekend and get like a door cleaned or a quarter panel cleaned, and then we finally got it painted. But it's one of those cars where I can't ever sell it. So
You've got a lot of those.
I don't like to get rid of anything. I like to keep everything.
So you guys both look pretty young. So what year did you both graduate in?
I graduated in 2001.
Okay.
2005.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm 43.
All right.
I'm gonna turn.
What was
30.
his first car?
Well, and this is like, for us, is kind of weird. I was told to get my driver's license after my senior year. My mom finally said, "I am not dropping you off at college. You need to drive your ass to school." So I, out of necessity, got my license. I didn't really have a car until I graduated college. I just kind of bum a car from my mom and dad. And actually, we were just talking about it today. Like, we weren't really given cars. We had to kind of earn it. Well, when I graduated school, the first time I had a paycheck, I went out and bought myself a truck. So, and caught everybody off guard. I bought a 59 F100. So instead of buying a new car, we went out and bought old cars. So
Mhm.
we went,
I had a 61 Chevy Corvair that Justin and my sister
bummed and drove to
would
school.
take to high school. Um,
My wife's
They
got a
caught
hot
it on-
rod over there.
they
Yeah.
caught it on fire a few times.
And I didn't catch it on fire. We just kicked the belt off a few times. We would high center it on the speed bumps in the parking lot. That was fun.
I've always had all kinds of. I'm always looking for the next project, so I'm never happy with what I have. I have to search for something new.
That's
So
the car guy.
I'm always
Yeah.
looking. I'm always on the hunt for a deal.
We
Yeah.
spent the last half hour on Facebook Marketplace wondering why everything with a small block in it has the world's worst interior
Awesome. All right.
Okay, so you're both by the time you guys get out of high school, what did you guys start doing out of high school? You
We
went
went to college.
you went to college.
I went away to school.
He went to college. I continued to play soccer for the Chafee College, which is like a junior college, a local college over here. And then I started waiting tables at Sizzler. And I made really good money at Sizzler. I ended up buying a 66 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. And we lowered it, had it on white walls. I had it primered black. I had like a white fur interior in it, and I drove that thing everywhere. And then I decided I don't want to wait tables anymore. I like working on cars, and I could make more money doing that. So I mean, we were like, if I wasn't working, I was doing little side jobs. I put a lot of Cadillac taillights in S10s. I was good at that. I kind of learned like stuff my dad didn't know how to do. He didn't know how to weld, so we learned how to weld.
I remember hearing how much he paid a guy to weld floor pans in a car. And we're like, you paid him how much to do what?
Yeah, so we kind
So
of
we bought a welder and it was like, okay, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
just like self-taught ourselves a lot of stuff. But then my dad was like, "Well, if you want to do this serious, then I'll get you hooked up with some people. It's not gonna be easy." So we did that, and I started working with Tommy Sparks, and I go up there. I restored a little Curtis midget for him. Um, just he just like exercised the car. He couldn't drive when he was older. He started getting shingles, so I was driving him around to the auto parts store. I took the little Roadster pickup that David Steele has, and we were driving around and go pick up parts. I mean, he had quite a collection of cars. That house, I mean, has a big warehouse behind it. You can probably get 14 or 15 cars in there, and I mean, it's quite a big space. He had a Ferrari. I mean, whatever car he decided he wanted us to work on, that's what I worked on. So, and a lot of it was really nothing at the time. I mean, it was more just hanging out with him. Like I liked hearing the stories, like the old stories. He used to work for Eddie Myers, and he painted Eddie Myers' house to get his first set of cylinder heads for his flathead to go racing the following weekend. So he'd just tell me stories like that, and
I listened because David Steele used to do that Hot Rod Foundation podcast. And then he had Sparks on there and a bunch of other guys. And actually, David Steele's the reason we do our podcast, because I was like, dude, I know all the custom guys. I can get you hooked up with Starbird and all them guys. And he goes, well, why don't you do it? So he was one of like the three people that kind of spurred us to do our own podcast. Yeah.
No, David's really good about, sitting down and getting all these stories. And I mean, half of
collecting all the history, because I heard when he first came out here, he thought hot riding was going to be the same as it was in the 60s, and we would be cruising up and down the streets, and it was totally not that. But there was still like the little burger stands where people would go. I mean, people are still going to Bob's Big Boy on Friday night. You can still do that in Burbank. And if you look, there's some place to go
every night
of the week, but it's not the same as it was in the 60s. But he's good at collecting all that information
to me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no. Then I got hooked up at SoCal Speed Shop because I wanted to I wanted to build hot rods. So that's where we
How
really
old,
got
how
going.
old were you when you started at SoCal?
Probably 21,
Oh wow,
22.
yeah.
I mean,
Who was
yeah.
the group of guys that was working at SoCal when you started there?
Jimmy Shine was here. There was a lot. I mean, Ryan Reed was working here. Mick was running the paint shop. Um, Dirty Scott, that was from Boyd's, was here. A lot of talented guys that worked at different shops. A lot of them came from Boyd's shop. Um, yeah, a lot of guys that work with Fat Jack that moved on. Guy Monty Moose Hutchinson, I mean, a lot of these guys took it for granted at the time working next to them. I didn't think anything of it other than they were cool and I hung out with them. And
Oh, you guys,
yeah,
your camera
there
is
was,
like really, really shaky.
Oh, sorry, that's me. I have like shaken leg syndrome.
Okay.
he's like bouncing his leg around, he's bouncing the table
Okay.
and moving.
I'm not a sit still. Well,
Is that better?
That is
Is it
That
better.
is better.
I feel like my
Okay.
head was.
Justin,
Like-
I was like the dog scratching his leg under the table over here.
yeah, Justin
Okay.
is bouncing his foot around over there. But
Getting motion sickness on that end.
yeah, no, I
So,
worked
were you
with
there
all
when
these.
they had that? What was that? There was a TV show. I forget what it was called.
Yeah,
It was
when they
like-
were filming that TV show Hard Shine,
Yeah.
I was there when they were doing that. They were
You guys were
filming,
the B team.
actually they were filming that TV show in this building right here, and we were across the way in the other room. And then they would film during the day, and then we were like the B team. We would come in and get the car to where it needed to be for the next day of filming. That was when they were doing they raced that the 57 gasser, and they had the champagne coupe that was going together at the time. They were,
So you both worked there?
just me.
Just
Okay.
him.
Just
I was still in high school. This is like, to me, it's like where you guys are hearing about it. I heard about this stuff, and this was like the glory days.
Mhm.
Like they'd go out to lunch every Thursday and go to breakfast in the morning on the way in, and they'd go drive all these cars to Grand National. And by the time I got here, that was all gone. It was like you said, there was,
I think when I first started here, there's 14 guys working in the fabrication shop.
when I got moved to the back, there was 3 of us. It was
Pete came to me and said, "Hey, does your brother have a job when he gets out of college?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Well, tell him to come see me when he comes back." So then Pete hired Justin to work in sales, to sell parts. So Justin worked in sales for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years.
I did that for 4 years until after the Indy car.
Did the IndyCar, and we won AMBR with the Indy Speedster, the all aluminum body, the one that Jackie Howerton originally
Oh, yeah,
built.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we won that in 2013 or
Who won
14.
Indig on that, right?
Yeah, Bill Lindy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did most of the assembly on that car,
Kind of by yourself.
kind of by myself. There's a group of guys that put the chassis together, but at the time there was like 3 or 4 of us, and I was there to put the whole body together and kind of get that car ready for the Grand National Roadster show. So after that, they were looking to like bring another person on, and Justin's like, "Well, I want to go work on the cars." He would sneak out like after work. I would be working late at night. He'd come into the shop, and then I'd give him little tasks like polishing bolts or putting rivets in.
It was like a table full of hardware you didn't want to polish.
Yeah, I would save all the bolts so I didn't have to polish them during the day and give him, and he'd sit there for hours polishing bolts and washers and nuts.
It was cool to be a part of it, and I mean, I have a really good understanding of the SoCal parts line, but nobody wants to be the guy to sell the t-shirts. I mean, nobody cares about that guy. But I mean, at the same time,
I don't know.
I'm not a desk job guy.
The other day, I got a ton of SoCal t-shirts. So
No, I mean, well, and that was the whole thing, that the product line got so big because Pete had this like, he had a couple things he would tell us. It's like, they can't afford to build a car, but they can afford to buy a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's like was selling like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
He told us he was selling cool.
I was
Yeah,
a
that was-
Midwest hot rodder, and just, I'm always been one. I'm not scared to wear my buddy's shop shirts, but I was like, oh, I go to California, I gotta.
You got to wear a
I
SoCal
went
Speed
to
Shop
SoCal
t-shirt.
this year at the Grand National, and my OBS truck, I got a SoCal keychain on it. So I mean, it's just
But I mean, that's like, so you're up there in front, you're so close to it. It was like, and this was back when like the downturn of the economy. So I wasn't working like a full day. I was working till like 3 o'clock, and the shop was going till 5 or 6. So at 3 o'clock, it was like, I'm going to go in the back and just see what I can do to help out. So I'd go back and help out. Well, 3 o'clock and leaving after you're done is one thing. But when you start punching out at 2:45 and 2:30 because you want to get back there sooner, it started to rub people the wrong way in the front. So as soon as there was an opportunity, Pete walks up and he goes, "Hey, you think you'd like to move to the back?" I go, "Yeah, I want to." And he gave me this list of tools to go buy because I didn't have any tools. So I went and loaded myself up with tools with money that I didn't have. I had to borrow money from my dad to get my first like Harbor Freight toolbox, and was working off of like a shop, like a service cart, and went and bought all the hand tools that I think I'd need. And that lasted about the first week. I mean, after that, the Snap-on guy got a hold of me and loaded me up with for $50 a week.
yeah.
So I think that cart lasted about the first 2 weeks, and then after that, I had to roll away a payment. But no, I mean,
when I left the dealerships 30 some years ago, it took me 3.5 years to pay off my Snap-on account, and now, even all the 30 some years later, I don't let a tool salesman in my building. I have the phone number. If I need them, I call them and I get something. I don't want them bothering me.
Most of our Snap-on transactions are warranty.
Yeah.
So
We
break it, then replace it, please.
Yeah.
But we don't see the Snap-on guy regularly anymore. We call him and we might meet him in a parking lot, but I mean, he does still go to Mick's building next door.
Because we have to get another Snap. That's the best part about the Goodguys thing is the Snap-on toolbox. We've wanted one of those for so long.
So now that we have to bring that up, we're out of order. We'll go back.
Okay. When we get there, I'm going to get really excited and start shaking the table again.
No, but why? Where are you putting your toolbox when you get it?
Actually, so our customer has this. It's like the Garage Mahal going right now. He has, I don't know, 15 cars in there, and
he wants to keep the toolbox.
But he did say, he goes, "I know you guys really wanted that, so when we get the chance, get the information, and we're going to buy you guys a second one to keep here."
We'll keep it at the shop.
Yeah, it's coming here.
Keep it at the shop.
I always say, I got buddies. I go to, whenever I travel, I do announcing stuff, and I stop. Like Cody Walls, he has his in his shop. He's working out of it. Like he rolls it to wherever he's working. And some people have them in their showroom. I would probably put mine in the house. I don't really have people come by the shop, but I wouldn't work out of it. I don't think.
No,
I think we'll have it at the shop. Will we work out of it? No, because we have two other ones, but I don't know. It's a toolbox. Let's use it.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, we're collecting a lot of stuff here, so there's a lot of people that come by. Kind of, I don't know, it kind of fits being here.
I think it's Goolsby. They take one of theirs that they have one of the years, and they take it because they vend and have a lot of Goodguys booths.
Yeah.
And then they're like, that's where they get their T-shirts out of and stuff. So people can see it scratched up. And
that's probably about the pampered life ours will live.
Yeah, we made this bitchin' display counter to go to shows and sell T-shirts. Actually,
it would have been cheaper to buy us.
Actually, it was just a way to bring beverages into car shows, but it costs more than a Snap-on.
Yeah,
it fits about 6 or 12 packs of Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
but it costs more than a Snap-on toolbox to make, but it looks cool.
It was awesome.
long as it
Yeah,
looks cool,
so-
that's all that matters.
Okay, so let's go back. You guys are at SoCal. What is what's the coolest? I mean, obviously you grew up in Southern California. Like, to me, as a Midwest hot rodder guy, I still remember the first time I shook Pete's hand. I mean, it was a big deal. It's like meeting Elvis to me. But you
Yeah.
guys got to work for me. Tell us a cool, each of you, if you have the coolest Pete story or a funny Pete story.
Well, if first off, if Pete was still here, I'd probably still be working for SoCal Speed Shop. He would never. I mean, I think Pete kind of ruined me. He taught me that you can take apart anything, and the parts only get you 70% of the way there, and you can take that part and take it apart and create this, I mean, work of art. Like, I mean, I'm not afraid to take apart weldwood calipers so we can polish it and change and put ARP bolts or something like that. He'd really like it was everything. Like every single part on a SoCal car has been touched or modified or tweaked to make it look. I mean, there's really no off the shelf parts. They've all been kind of massaged and modified, whether it's painting them different or coatings or I mean any of that. But he kind of ruined me. But I think the coolest thing is, and I'm kind of like you, where I was kind of starstruck when I first started working here. You're going like, I read about these guys in these magazines, and now I'm working with them, and then like, it
And
just
part
the
of your
fact
mind, it's like, I'm not a sports ball guy, but it's like, oh, don't fuck up. I just got signed to the Lakers.
yeah,
I mean, I made
Yeah,
the big
no,
one.
it-
I'm working for Pete at SoCal. That's a
What-
good
yeah, no,
sports
and
ball.
What sport is the Lakers?
I know it's Los Angeles basketball, right? Is that right?
yeah, that's right.
That's basketball.
Tim is like
No.
the most unjockiest person you would ever
Yeah,
meet.
I don't
in life.
high-five
He has
either.
no idea.
But just like reading about like these cars in magazines, like I mean Line Fire, and then getting to drive it, or
Mhm.
like the Pearson Brothers coupe.
I remember coming home from school and you had it parked in the garage.
Yeah, I had Line Fire in the garage at my house.
Wow.
I mean, I got to drive the Pearson Brothers coupe. I mean, take apart the belly tank and like just I would stay after work and just sit in these cars and study them, how they built them back in the day.
Fit in the belly tank.
But yeah, no, it's just like these cars you saw and read about, like Cadzilla. I drove Cadzilla from the shop over here to the NHRA museum to load it in a trailer, and that's pretty cool when you're driving down like Mission or Holt over here and you're in Cadzilla and people
Yeah.
are going like, "What's going on?" But just these like iconic cars, being able to drive them and sit in them, work on them, like yeah, I mean, the California Kid, it's that was kind of like an eye-opening thing. I mean, the story about Pete. I mean, like you said, I didn't realize it until after he passed away. It's like he would come down here when I was building my Model A coupe. He let me build it at the shop, but it had to be built to the level of a customer's car. He would come down there after work and analyze what I was doing and tell me, okay, you need to do this and that. And I took that all for granted, but he was giving me that information for free, and people
Mhm.
would pay for that information, and I was just
Oh.
getting it on a day-to-day basis. I mean, he would come down and sit in the shop on Thursday night. We used to hang out here and we'd barbecue and drink beers or whatever. And he'd come down and just hang out with us, and we'd tell stories of him driving back to the Hot Rod Nationals and wherever it was, and like doing these road trips. And then we started doing these road trips, and he's like, that was my life. You guys are doing this now. You're driving over here, driving to Texas to the Roundup, doing this, driving up to Pleasanton for Goodguys. He's like, I got to do a road trip with you. But then he passed away and I never got to do that. But like just getting that information from him, I still have the text messages and voicemails on my phone from Pete that I just don't get rid of. I actually even have a little bottle of his ashes that are in my hot rod that I drive around with him
Nice.
with me. It's kind of cool.
That
But
is
yeah,
cool.
no, I don't know. I mean, just like hanging out here with him. I mean, I come in on a Saturday, he might be up in his office and he'd come down to check in. Like when I was chopping my coupe, he here, I'll Photoshop it. Here's 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches. And he's all, what would really be cool is if you do this, but you got to put polished aluminum wheels. He's big on polished aluminum wheels.
Hmm.
And I didn't really agree at the time, but now I got polished magnesium wheels on my car, and I think it looks really good. It brought like a new life to the car. So
No. So what do you got for a cool Pete memory?
Well, so when I moved to the back, me and Evan started doing like spec cars on the side, and I had my truck, and we were told that if we got the sales manager's car done, I could drive it to Pleasanton. So Pete would come down and kind of check on us and make sure everything was, up to his level. And we went back and it wasn't to that level. So we ended up redoing the whole car in like 3.5 months. I mean, it was unreal. But I think the biggest like Pete story was we weren't working on it, but they were building a collaboration car with Detroit Street Rod and Bob Smith. It was a gold and white SoCal Roadster with a Coyote motor for SEMA.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete would fly back to Detroit and they'd look at the car, and they had this dream team of people out there working on it, is what we were told. Well, 2 weeks before SEMA, the car shows up at the shop and Pete sees it kind of together and it's not ready to go. And he walks in, he kind of just tells us, okay, we got to change some stuff. And we see the car and it's like, okay, what do you want to do? So we walk in and we start taking the car apart. A week before SEMA, we're tearing the car apart.
Jesus.
And Pete was actually, and this was when Pete was upstairs most of the time. He wasn't in the shop, and Pete came down and worked for a week with us to redo most of the car. And I remember like my respect for Pete went through the roof. This is midnight before we load the thing for SEMA. And here's Pete walking in. He bought, with In-N-Out Burger, like, okay, we got to keep going and checking stuff off the list and working like side by side with you on little stuff. And it was like, it wasn't like the SoCal name was on it, so it had to be to Pete's level. So, I remember taking stuff off and putting it back on that they were saying, oh, no, it's fine. And Pete would, nope, we got to do that. It's on the list. And like putting the bull nose on and making sure it was straight. And different little small stuff. And it was kind of cool.
some stuff that people would never even like
lining up bolts in the spreader bars to make sure the hexes were lined up. And it's the night before SEMA, but he made sure every piece of hardware on the chassis that you saw was lined up because it was Pete's name. It's like, if they say SoCal did it, I get tied to it. So it's got to be the way I want it. But we did that. And Evan mentioned the Thursday night barbecue thing. Those were probably those are those times where you don't realize you're in the glory days. If somebody would have told you like, hey, this is it right now, take it in. That started out as one of our guys would fly in from New Zealand and work 3 months on, 3 months off. And he was the one responsible for all the SoCal Bonneville chassis. His name was Robin Silk. So when he stayed at the shop, because he slept in the office in the back room. Thursday nights when we were done with our 410 week, we fire up the barbecue. Well, we actually built a barbecue that slid in the back of my truck, and we started inviting other people over to the shop. So we'd have like Bill McGrath that owned the early Ford store would come down, and he was a buddy of Silky's, and we'd have different guys stop by, and Pete would stay up in the office upstairs and he'd do billing on Thursday nights, and he'd come down and just sit down and have a beer before he went home. And half the time we joke about it now, oh, we're getting the calls, we got to go home. Carol would be calling, checking on him, and be passing the phone around and talking to Carol, his wife. And those were probably the best times. We were getting the cross-country road trip stories about him and Peawood. That was when I started.
Jake and them going to all these cars breaking down and fixing them on the side of the road. And
and at that point I started building my Model A Roadster, and we were building it here in the shop. He gave me the same opportunity. Build it here. You got to build it to the same level as a customer build.
He saw that you're interested in what the shop was doing.
Oh, he'll give you so much more.
so much more by letting you do it at the shop and give you advice, but you almost had to take that advice.
And you had to take it with a grain of salt. So I started in I started 3 different projects, and the first 2 we sold before they were done. We tried to build 2 Deuce Roadsters. They both sold. You take them as a display to a show, and I was a salesman, so if somebody wanted it that bad, you sold it to them. You come back and you start over again. So I started on a Model A Roadster for myself, bought a Buick motor for it and a 5-speed. Well, 3/4 of the way through the project, we were ready to tear it down. We were going to start powder coating and painting stuff, and we got a call from Coonan that we are going to shoot it for Roadster Journal. We go, okay, well, give me 3 or 4 months and I'll have it back together. He goes, no, I want it in bare metal. We got to shoot it now. You got 2 weeks to get it done, and I had to call the powder coater and get all my parts back, and he had to burn the powder coat off of stuff.
Oh, geez.
So we started metal prepping, and Pete brought down all the issues of the Roadster Journal that had a bare metal car in it, laid them all out on the table, and said, this is what the expectation is, and this is going to be tied to SoCal, so this is what you have to do. Can you do it? And he goes, realize anything that people see on your car in that magazine, people treated that magazine like the Bible. He goes, so if you're not 100% convinced that that's the part to go on the car,
don't put it on.
Don't put it on the car. Because I had been, and this was at the beginning of like us getting into social media and Instagram and stuff. I saw some air cleaners that I thought I liked, and they showed up, and we looked at them and we just went. I sat him on the car, and he walks in and he goes, the hell are those? Kind of. And he goes, dude, those are take them off the car. Those don't go on the car. He goes, I'd rather have you put black gaffer's tape over the top of the carburetors than to run those. He goes, and that's what he gave me. They treat it like the Bible. Don't.
The car is unfinished. Just make sure that the pieces are on the car that you're going to keep
on the car. So we kept moving forward, and we got it, really close in the SoCal building, and we had about 3 or 4 more days and had the car rolling with the body on it. And I had a buddy of ours that was working for Bobby Walden. He was starting his own product line, and he built me a set of hairpins. And Matt builds beautiful parts. And I have them sitting on the table, and they have all the old Model A rod ends with the leather boots on them. And I thought they were the coolest thing. It was more so when you build a car for yourself, you're using your buddy's parts and parts that are given to you because it's sentimental. But Pete saw him, and he was like, he wasn't convinced that. He's all like, if you're going to have somebody build parts for my chassis, they need to come talk to me. And I'm like, oh, Pete, what are you like? Why are you so? And he goes, no, he's like, we designed all that stuff for a reason. It works. And he goes, if you're going to put those on, the car has to leave. And well, me and Evan loaded the car up. Like it was a buddy's part, and we just kind of followed his lead. He said, if you're that convinced, then, put them on, but the car's got to leave. Because he's like, that's not what I would do.
He said that he spent a lot of time
with Pete and Jake designing those parts,
designing like the front hairpins, and then like smoothing out chassis, like taking a stock 32 chassis and welding up all the holes on the frame. And here me and Justin are using templates
and putting all the holes back in
original frame, and we're hole sawing holes and putting the holes back in there to make it look like an original frame. And he's going, why are you guys doing this? Like we spent all this time smoothing everything out and making it slim and smooth, and here you are adding all the shit back in and putting rivets on it, and we're going like, but that's what we wanted. And
we wanted it
wasn't really an argument, but we had just a little disagreement.
He just wanted us, like, part of like the whole thing is like he'd have us build the stuff here. He wanted to that SoCal expectation.
But
and we still, like, we have a kid right now working for us, and I say a kid, he's older than me. He's older than me, and his girls are going to graduate high school in the next year. But it's another one. It's one of these guys. He just wants to build hot rods, and he's building a 32 at home. We told him, like, at a certain point, they're going to bring it down here, and we're going to finish it here. And he's like real proud to show us. And it's kind of cool to have one of your guys show you pictures of what they're doing on their car, and asking for your opinion to make sure it's up to like one standard. And I'm like, and the same reverence that we had for Pete And I'm going,
Yeah.
we're just nobodies. Like,
It's doing this.
I-
And like now I'm the young kid and I've been doing it for 20 some years and I just don't know any different. If I had a different job, I'd still be doing this on the weekend. I don't know any better.
but I mean,
So
that,
did that car end up in Riders Journal?
yeah, it actually, and that car is still kind of bittersweet. Like we said, there's stuff that we know we're never going to be able to get rid of. And my car is going to be one of those things. I've humored with selling it and it's
It's on the cover of Roadster Journal.
Yeah, it made the cover, but so we worked for about 48 hours straight out of Evan's garage and got everything done and loaded it up in the trailer, went up and saw Coonan up in San Francisco before they moved, and went up to see Roy's shop and walked around Roy's and kind of hung out in the Bay Area for a couple days. And then we got back and we didn't even unload the car. And Evan went up to Pete's office and said, "Hey, we talked to Coonan about this. And so he wants to interview you for the article. He wants to talk to you about how you've been kind of the catalyst for all these up and coming builders. He named like Jimmy and Ryan Reed and some of these other guys, and how SoCal was kind of the
Like a stepping stone for
stone
these guys
for
to
these guys to take off."
so
And he came down and the last and this is where it kind of it still sucks. It still hurts. He told Evan that what did he say? "This is why I hate you guys. You're doing it way the hell better than we ever did. And you guys are still young and we're old."
but he ended up passing away like 2 days later.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
he had a stroke in the office about an hour later, and then 2 days later he was gone.
So we left the car in the trailer for like 2 or 3 weeks and wouldn't take it out. We didn't want to, and we were like just sitting at the shop going like, what do we do? Like Pete's not here. Like, are we gonna?
Yeah, I remember showing up 2 days after Pete died, and me and Evan, and at this point, he's out of the house. He's got his own house. I moved back in with my mom and dad. We didn't know what to do. We were kind of in limbo, and we both kind of rolled in here on a Saturday. And even guys that had left, like Jimmy showed up on a Saturday, and it took, I don't know, 2 weeks. We just showed up on a Saturday kind of without talking to anybody. I came to unload my car to kind of see it, and there was 2 or 3 other guys here going, I don't even know what to do because Pete's not here.
Mhm.
I mean, and it's guys that had already left the shop. I mean, it had everybody kind of reeling. I mean, Pete was one of those larger than life figures. So
Yeah.
to be able to kind of be the last couple guys to experience that, I mean, it's still pretty cool. I mean, as you can see, we hold him in high reverence here. I mean,
We still have all the SoCal banners and stuff in here. It's if you didn't know it, you would think this is SoCal Speed Shop.
the hell.
Actually, like sometimes people like Google search SoCal Speed Shop and they'll get the address and they put it into MapQuest and it sends them here.
Yeah, if you searched it for a while and you searched SoCal Speed Shop in Google Maps, it still sent you here, which was kind of nice when we were here because we'd get
Yeah.
work out of it just being in this room.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
we
do
still
you guys
have a
have
good
any
one.
good stories? Did either one of you guys ever get in trouble and had to go to the boss's office to get talked to? Do you have any of those stories?
I do.
Cadzilla.
So it's probably about the time you came out here, Cadzilla was getting the paint touched up on it. We went and re-chromed a bunch of the bumpers and stuff like that. And I'm trying to be careful because of the car. I'm sitting there cleaning out threads, going to put the bumper on, and I tighten the bumper bolts up, and it puts an Audi dent on the back of Cadzilla. And I'm going like, oh my God. Like they just got done painting it, probably $100,000 paint job. And here I go put an Audi dent. Like they're gonna be pissed. Like I just covered up with a car cover, got sick to my stomach. I go up and tell Pete I had a problem. Like we did this, and I showed him, and then he comes down and looks at me. It's no big deal, but he's like, but you're gonna fix it. He's like, call the paintless dent guy and see if he can save your ass, but you're gonna pay for it. So I think that cost me like $500 or $600, but the guy saved my ass and was able to take the dent out of it. But like instant like stomach ache, gonna throw up, going like you can't. I mean, and
We just had that feeling.
Yeah, so it was just, oh my God. But I had to
But
go up
hey,
and tell
think
him.
about it that way. I mean, you could do a new shirt that says that. I screwed up Cadzilla for Pete Chapouris. I mean, how many
Yeah.
people can say that? I mean, really,
Yeah.
right?
But and then the other time you're talking about funny stories about Pete. So we just put that LS. It was during that green rod thing. They put the LS3 in the red and white SoCal Roadster. Pete's gonna go drive it after the SEMA show. He's gonna drive it to Arizona. I think he was going to I think Bob Everett's collection. He's driving there. They leave California. I programmed the speedometer. Well, I was off on my programming. He ends up getting a speeding ticket, and the cop writes it up at like 95 miles an hour, but he was really going 110 because the speedometer was calibrated wrong. So he said that I owed him for that one too, but he didn't get taken to jail because it was only 95. So
But you have more Pete stories. I guess my best story when I got in trouble here was with his wife Carol. So everybody remembers the big SoCal open houses. You'd show up and there was thousands of people here in the In-N-Out burger truck. And this is when I first started here. And, I indulged a little bit differently when I came back from the Midwest. They taught me how to drink out there. So I get back and I'm working in the showroom nonstop. I worked the counter for 2 or 3 open houses. Well, the first open house that I worked, and I already knew the drill. I'd been to them when I was in high school. I knew how many people were here. I knew to pack an ice chest. I put it under my desk really discreetly. I had a spot in the counter where I could hide my drink because I knew by about 2 or 3 o'clock you needed to be on the same wavelength as all these old guys that were drinking beer all day. So, well, my taste had changed. I wasn't drinking Coors Light. I had a bottle of Wild Turkey under my desk. Here comes Carol walking through the showroom, and she comes over and she gives me a hug and how are you doing? And we're talking, and she slips through the showroom into the back through the sales office. Well, she goes, I'm just going to grab a soda or a drink out of this ice chest in here. My eyes just get big. I'm like, crap. The boss's wife's going to find my bottle of whiskey in the office. She comes around the corner holding up this bottle of Wild Turkey and goes, whose is this? And I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to get in trouble for drinking on the job now. And she looks at me and I go, it's mine, Carol. I'll get rid of it. She goes, no. Go get me a glass and get me some ice. You're going to pour me a drink. Like, she goes, does Pete know you have this down here? I'm like, God, no, there's no way. She said, your biggest mistake is not offering him a glass first. If you're going to learn anything from this day, always take him a glass first. So I kept that in mind. So when we went back and we had the Indy car in AMBR, I manned the booth like we always did. And I had, several thousand of my favorite little polished pieces of hardware on that car because that's what I did for months, was polish little screws and stuff. Pete came up to me, he goes, do you guys have anything to drink? And I go, I've got something for you, Pete. And I reached under the counter. I had my little ice chest under the counter in the booth, and I pulled out a bottle of Jack Daniels. Well, we get around to Sunday afternoon, you're doing pulls out of a bottle of Jack Daniels. And Pete had a no drinking in the booth deal. And Peter still carries that. He just told me at Pleasanton, we're standing there in the booth, and he goes, you have a beer in your hand, get out of my booth.
you could drink on the outside
Outside of the booth. 5 feet that way is cool. Right here in front of the SoCal logos, no. So I pull out the bottle of Jack Daniels, and he takes it, and we go over and we're standing on the side of the booth and we're doing pulls of it. I go back in after we win to find my bottle of Jack Daniels, and him and Bill Lindig are arm wrestling for the last pull of Jack Daniels out of my bottle. And then they finish it off and they throw it in the trash can, and I'm looking at it going, sweet, I got a souvenir. I'm going to hit him up to sign this, and I'm going to put it on my shelf. I go over to have him sign it. He goes, that's the empty bottle. Good, that's going to my office. Pete's office was like a museum. He had all the stuff on the walls and in the table, and I mean,
that sent him, and
Yeah.
like just stuff that he collected from guys at the shop that had worked there, like different guys that had worked there in the past, their welding gloves that were signed by that worker.
he was always the one that would come up and give you like that stack of pictures after something, or the disc or the flash drive with pictures. So when Pete passed away, one of our buddies told us, "Hey, I'm getting pictures together for a slideshow for Pete's memorial. Do you have any good ones?" And I went through thousands of pictures, and Evan did it too. We go back and we have like 10 each. And he goes, "Where are the pictures of Pete?" And I go, "It's simple. Pete was on the other side of the camera. He was that guy. He knew to document it. We're still terrible about taking pictures, but he was like, I mean, no, those are the things that we remember about Pete still to this day. Like, I mean, and that's kind of
We were just doing that. We went up to
Pleasanton this year was awesome with Peter and Peewood.
We went with Pete Eastwood and Peter, and we were having these little story times in the parking lot up there, and I was tapping Peter on the shoulder, like, "You don't realize what's just happening. This is history going down right here. These guys telling us stories of
story time with Uncle Peewood was amazing."
So like, some of these elder statesmen I call, trying to get them to understand what a podcast is. But when I talked to Peewood at Grand National this year, he gave me his number. He goes, "I will do your podcast." So I got to get him.
You've got to get Peewood on. Since he's started working in tech and doing the stuff for SoCal through the sales office now with Peter, he is like, if you ran into Peewood 10 years ago, 15 years ago, he's kind of quiet, real to himself. Peewood is awesome. Like we've talked more to Peewood in the last 6 months, like hours of conversation. He has the best stories, whether it's hot rod stuff and
drag racing,
the Butera stories, and then even into like the steam era, like early American cars, and what he does with the whole holiday motor excursion. Like, he has and you can't find just a nicer guy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we're gonna don't tell too much of his stories. We're gonna get
no.
We're finally getting some of the what I call
you're gonna have to do like a couple. It's like talking to Robinson. You're gonna have to do a 2 or 3 part like installment and just kind of corner him to like, let's go from like this era and kind of script it what you want to talk about, or else. I mean, we got there Thursday
night, 1 in the morning, talking to him. And actually, we weren't even talking; we were just listening.
Yeah, you're just soaking it like a sponge.
It was really cool. I was telling Peter, like, your dad was doing this to me while I was working at SoCal, but I didn't even realize it was anything important. Now I realize that this is important. I need to be paying attention to this, and it was really cool.
Yeah, when you're in a conversation and you're actively listening, but you don't want to interrupt the flow of information, you're just sitting there smiling like an idiot and drinking beer. Like, it was awesome.
We got another good guy that we're finally. His guys from the shop are helping. Next week we're getting Brizio on.
Oh, there you go. Roy's a good.
Roy's good.
No.
No, Roy's good, and I've really enjoyed the stuff that you guys did with like Bill Ganal. We haven't known Bill for very long, but we spent a lot of time with him and Joe that works for him up at Pleasanton, and they were showing us the ropes of the Goodguys thing.
Becoming a show car guy.
Yeah. So he was the first
or
call.
Or as Bill calls it, how the sausage is made.
Yeah. He was the first call after we found out we had won Truck of the Year, and I remember calling him. I go, hey, is Joe there? And he goes, and I knew it was. Once I heard the voice, I knew it was Bill. And he goes, no, never mind. I don't need Joe. I wanted to talk to you anyways. Hey, it's Justin from Veazie Brothers. Oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, I need to ask you how this whole thing goes down, because we don't know what the hell we've gotten into now. So what's this whole Scottsdale thing like?
Yeah,
like just
it's cool. We'll be there.
No, I mean, that's
Foreman, and I helped do the awards. So allegedly, when I booked this podcast with you guys after you won the Grand National Truck thing,
it's called the Wombat. That's the acronym.
I already knew the other award was coming.
Did you? Oh, you knew before we did.
Allegedly, I knew about a week ahead of time.
He was telling us kind of because we went up to Pleasanton thinking we need to show the truck one more time. And it had
Because it is
gone
a
all
business.
summer.
They like to see you at more than one event.
Well, no, so we went to Del Mar too. So we went to like the earliest show we could go to.
We're like, what are we required to do? And they go, nothing.
Nothing.
One, just you don't have to do anything. And I'm like, nah, I think we need to show
Show
it
it one-
one more time. We'll do Pleasanton.
And so we went up there and we talked to Peter and he got us a nice little corner to park in. We didn't have to move all weekend. Cool. We're right on the main aisle where they cruise by. All right, we're great. We're just going to leave the truck there and kind of just profile in the corner and hang out. Bill walks over and he goes, you need to move the truck to Builder's Choice. I'm like, no, we're good. 5 minutes later, here come Daryl and Terry Hollenbeck telling us the same thing. You got to go move the truck. No, we're just going to hang out over here. We already got the
They go, you don't have to be the cool kids. You need to go move it over there. You don't understand what you brought. You need to go do this.
You
So
got to listen
after,
to
like-
Bill, but if Daryl and Terry tell you to do something, you got to do it. You just got to
Yeah,
do
so
it.
we
Well,
did.
and I thought they were just giving us a hard time because we may or may not, and this is where we're not going to name names. We may or may not have tagged along on a Brizio road trip. We may or may not have ended up in Austin at the Roundup. We may or may not have been making too much noise in the parking lot in Sonora and about got arrested. Yeah, I remember seeing Terry in the office when we checked out of our room and she goes, oh, so you were the guys that were having too much fun last night. I think everybody remembers a couple years back there was cars stolen out of the parking lot at the Sheraton after Grand National. Well, one of the guys that had his cars stolen was on that road trip with the replacement car. He heard cars
Doing burnouts in the parking lot.
I was going to say testing the ability for their tires to grip the pavement, but the local sheriffs came over after we were escorted to a bar after dinner that was ironically named Porky's that looked like it was made out of pallets and got hustled by the local pool sharks, but they felt bad for us because it took us 2 hours to finish a game of pool and got driven back to the hotel. We decided it was a good idea to show the locals how to do burnouts and hot rods. So yeah, I thought Terry was lecturing us on not being the cool kids and hanging out and drinking beer in the corner. It dawned on us after we went for a walk that morning and the guys from Goodguys started coming up and going, where's the truck? You need to move the truck. I walk back over to Evan and I go, hey, dude, I've got stopped like 6 times. We got to go move this damn truck. So we drive it out into the trees out at Pleasanton. They don't just put us in the row. They put us right on the end of the row in the sun. And their video guys just started going to work. And we're like, oh, they had this planned. So we just kind of hung out. And later that day, they came over and gave us the thing for Builder's Choice. And then we moved the truck back over and we're talking to Bill later in the day. And he goes, you guys don't realize what you have going on here. Like we've literally all the builders are telling them that's the truck we want to win truck of the year early. Like
You need to just do. You need to start playing the game. You need to do what they tell you to do. So,
and you know, our kudos to Steven and the guys at Goodguys. I mean, we haven't gone to Goodguys stuff in years.
they run
I
a
think
good
we're
show.
going to make it, you know, every year 2 or 3 of their shows because they make it so easy as a builder to go out there, and it's not, you know, it's, you know, you're out there with your peers now, and I guess we can say that now because we're not the little guys anymore.
It's pretty cool when it's not like you're getting recognized from just random people at the show, but the builders are coming up and telling how good you've done. Yeah, so next year
We're gonna take the little Lorenzini Roadster out on a road trip.
we're gonna kind of do a couple good guy shows with that because we kind of haven't really done much with that car
Other than
other than compete for AMBR, which would after now we won the truck show or the America's Most Beautiful or whatever
it's a Wombat.
it's a world's most beautiful truck or America's whatever it is. And
48 calls it the Wombat. Yeah.
yeah,
The Wombat.
so we
You
won,
need to bring the
won
Orange
that.
Roadster out for Hot Rod of the Year, good guys. I think you need to bring it out for that.
That's kind of what we're talking about doing. I mean, and we got kind of scolded. We were supposed to take it to Del Mar, and we didn't show up with it. But I mean, Scott's one of our buddies. We've done road trips with Scott, and we know he's going to drive the hell out of that car.
Got almost over 1,000 miles on
that car already, just locally around town. But it's more so people don't understand, and we tried to explain this when he told us he wanted to put that car in AMBR. When you put a car in that as a builder, we understand now, and we've understood it for years by working with Pete. When you enter a car in that, it's no longer what the customer wants. It's to the best of our abilities. And there's so much unforeseen cost in getting ready for that show because everybody that works on it
it's the best
of their ability.
If you're going to compete in that arena, you got to build the car to the highest level. And I was like, dude, since we won all this stuff with the truck, I'm like, if we would have won AMBR with Lorenzini's Roadster, we would have had a really good year. Like that's pretty cool. And we're a three
guy shop.
We got 4 guys here. Me, Justin, Kev, and our buddy Greg. That's all we got. Like we ain't a big shop. You guys
send most of your paint work goes. You don't do paint work. The truck was done.
We don't do paint work. It goes if they have the budget and they want like what we say would be like the best we can give you, we send them over to Mick. Or we've been using Tom down at Cypress Auto Body. A lot of our guys, they don't.
Lorenzini's car was painted at Cypress Auto Body.
That paint job was 30 grand. Like we probably have the cheapest paint job in AMBR this year.
But it looks amazing.
Yeah, amazing job.
Okay, so let's go back. You're done it.
That's another.
We're getting way out.
We'll come back to what you're doing now. Your SoCal ended, and then now you guys have the idea, hey, let's just take over this, and now it's our shop. Was that the thought process, or to just
we worked for 2 years out of our mom and dad's garage in Chino. So we worked out of a 3-car garage, and the first car we took on, we did of all things, a 60 Cadillac in a 3-car garage.
Bags slammed on the ground. My dad actually painted the car for us.
Yeah, so we got to work with our dad for 2.5 years before he passed away. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, my dad passed away during COVID. Not of COVID, but during COVID. He passed away. We got to work 2 years with our dad, and then we debuted that 60 Cadillac at Grand National, and Mick came up to us and said that the old shop, one of the buildings is going to come available, that we should take over it. Like you guys are still building cars, and like it would be really good for you to be back over there. And that's what we did. The week after Grand National, we moved back into the building, signed a lease, and then the world ended on us during COVID.
Things shut down. We didn't know if we were going to be able to work. We didn't know if
we just signed a 5-year lease, and I'm going like, what did we do? Like, are we going to have enough work? At that time, it was just me and Justin. There was no other people working for us. And I'm going like, now we're trying to pay the rent on a building. And like, are these customers going to want to work on cars still?
But it took off.
It kind of took off. COVID was like
blessing.
It was blessing. It was like, it helped us get the ball rolling for our shop. Because that was like, we did 2 years on our own at the house. And then we got the building, and
you had about 1.5 years where we couldn't go do car shows. People wanted to take their small project and turn it into, because they weren't going on vacations. They wanted to build more.
Yeah. So projects turned into big projects.
I think that mentality made people realize what we could have lost.
Like, yeah, I think it did that.
But world than we did in Tennessee about stuff. I mean, we still had buffets open here. We didn't eat out. And we literally I'm gonna spend money on my shit that makes me happy. That's what I think it woke people up a little bit.
So our brother-in-law works in the telecommunications. He sets up cell phone towers. They started handing out permits for essential workers to drive, and
you had to
at night there was a curfew, and they started getting to the point where they were going to start checking these credentials to drive. And we were like, dude, we're going to come over here and try to work.
We're essential business. We were in
We were in transportation. So we drive over here and we drive and park in the building, roll the doors down, self in. But I mean, that was the interaction between us and the family. We had Sunday family dinners in the building.
That's the bullshit that I've had. Anybody that is working to put food on their table is an essential worker in my mind. If you're paying for work and you're eating, everybody's an essential worker.
Yeah, no, we couldn't just. I'd love to sit there at home in sweatpants and watch TV or read a book. I'm not a reader, but that sounded good, right? We buy car magazines to look at the pictures.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we'd come over here and we just disappear. So it was, I mean, to get off and running at that, it kind of helped us out because especially this year has taught us, I don't know how these shops go from show to show to show and show these cars week in and week out and still get anything done. I mean, I know they have more than 3 guys or 4 guys, but
after Pleasant,
how do you balance that?
I'm going to be out of the shop most of September by the time I go do Triple Crown, and then he was doing that road tour, then to Texas, and I'm going, with our shop, if I did that, we would just be closed down. Like,
and now you got to go to Scottsdale.
Now you got to go to Scottsdale,
and it's the week before Thanksgiving, so we're shutting down from like Wednesday through the end of the following week because we only really take maybe a week off a year, and it's Thanksgiving. We go camping in the desert and we turn off our cell phones.
Nice.
That's one thing that I can't get out of is like during COVID, it was really big because that was people in California decided
camping was
camping was a thing. So we started doing that as a family big, and now it's like I can't get out of that. So we have to take a week off at Thanksgiving and go camping with the family, which is cool. The little kids running around and then can do a reset. So that'll be happening right after Scottsdale, but it is cool. Like everybody's like, "Do you guys realize what you just did?" And I'm going like, "Yeah, I
really don't think we know the magnitude of what we did. That truck, we kind of built it the way we wanted to build it anyways. So we
weren't trying to build it to win an award. We were just trying to build a nice car.
We inherited the project of all projects.
I mean, Bob Bowder kind of set the platform for us, so it already looked cool when it came to us. We just had to execute it. So
it was more so don't screw it up.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got to meet Bob Bowder. I might have crossed paths with him and maybe met him and not knowing who he was at the time, or maybe somebody told me after the fact. But
I met him through Pete. Like he came by the shop and I met him through Pete, and then we would go to car shows and he'd be there with something that but he was kind of low key, did his own thing, didn't care what anybody thought. He just built what he thought was cool. And I mean, we looked up to him because his style was like a California style. But yeah, even like Fat Jack, like I didn't realize how, I just knew Fat Jack from hanging out in the swap meet at LA Roadster show, and they paid us to like watch over their stuff while they sat and drink when I was in junior high. And I didn't even realize it was a thing until like years later. It's like, that's why I'm going like, some of this stuff I didn't even realize it was history in the making, and I'm just there.
We were just kind of running alongside of it, not paying attention.
But that was these 2 cars that we did this year, it was more because Bowder and Pete worked together, and being able to finish one of the cars that each one of them started but didn't finish meant more to us than any trophy. It was more like I needed to finish these cars, but then also debut them at the same time. And I had to have them right next to each other. So, and then for them to be on the cover together, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
So when you started, what was the first big project that come out when you guys started your own gig?
Well, really,
we acquired the Willys pickup project, and that one's been here for probably about as long as we've been in the building. As soon as we had the space here to do it, we kind of took over that project. I mean, we've done, I guess, a handful of we've done like a handful of 32s and hot rods and stuff like that, but nothing ever.
A lot of these SoCal roasters that have 5 spokes and
Yeah, the first project we did,
Halibrands.
well, no, that is the first project we did out of this room. So we moved back in this room, and then uh Peter and his brother-in-law Matt, that are now kind of
Running the
SoCal, bring us a
Mhm.
SoCal Roadster and say we're going to do kind of a reset. So we did skinny front 5 spokes and dirt trackers and kind of redid that. The SoCal Roadster they drove around for a while that had the 5 spokes and the dirt trackers and was real low. So I mean, it was kind of cool to be back in the building again. It felt like you're home, and the first thing you got to do is do a like kind of a
restyle.
freestyle on a SoCal Roadster.
That was kind of
Mhm.
neat. But like even Lorenzini's car was one of the first cars I ever worked on at SoCal. That
Oh,
car's
wow.
any almost anybody that ever worked at SoCal
Worked on that car.
worked on that car. It was just one of those cars that never got finished, but it was in the making for a long time. So being able, when Scott brought that to us and said, "Hey, I would like for you guys to finish it," meant a lot for him to bring it to us. But at the same time, it was like also we were put on a thing like I'm gonna get judged and be on the magnifying glass of all the past SoCal workers are gonna see
Mhm.
how you finish this car. So that car was probably those 2 cars that we finished this year. I mean,
Those would probably be the first 2
high profile cars that we've done. But they were. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, I think there was times last year we were going like,
What did we get ourselves into?
we got ourselves in way over our head. I mean, for being a small shop and going like we have to finish 2 cars, but we're not even finishing 2 cars. We're finishing 2 like high dollar, high end hot rods that like got to be built to the best of our abilities at the same time. I'm going like we were
And there's
working
probably
90.
half the people that are listening or watching this, whatever platform they watch it on, have no idea what that means. That, hey, we're going to put this car up in the air, put spotlights and mirrors underneath of it, and even like you just mentioned earlier, like I talked to some of my casual car people, and they're like, "What do you mean you clock the bolts everywhere?" You know, some people just the little things like that.
Well,
half
but
these people
it's not
have no
even it's
idea,
not even
let
just
alone cutting and rubbing the bottom of a car. You know,
yeah, but it's not even like clocking the bolts now. I mean, we went even past that. It's like measuring the grip length and where it sticks out through the nylon,
We have the same amount
counting
of
the threads, doming the ends of them, polishing both ends of them, and then like we had to like poor Greg that works for us spent 3 months
polishing nuts, bolts.
nuts, bolts, and hardware.
Oh,
the first
3
person that
months.
ever explained that to me was at SEMA in the Ford booth about
The what?
the Ford. What did I say? Ford.
I don't know. What
Ford
you
booth. Must have hit my head today. Of the grip length, the bolts, how many threads
Yeah.
throughout the whole car. It was Dan Webb on one of his cars that was in the Ford booth at SEMA. I was like, oh yeah, I've always noticed that.
Well,
okay.
Well, no, so that's kind of what so a year before so this would be 2024 Grand National. So in 23, Scott went to Deuce Days in Havasu and came back and he goes, I think I want to put my car in AMBR. And I go, you don't want, we talked him out of it. About 3 months before Grand National, and so we just put the chassis together during the summer around Father's Day. And Peter came to drop off some parts from SoCal and he took a couple pictures and he posted a couple pictures on Instagram and this is where like the keyboard warriors chimed in because we just had the coilovers hung with a couple bolts. There's no nylocks on stuff. And people are telling us that the bolts aren't phased right. And these are the experts. Crooked
I'm like going
from like a little snippet picture.
zooming in on the picture, going like,
And we told him like, don't post anything until like I want to see it first because we understand that people like I look at stuff in the backgrounds of pictures, like there's like the tools and stuff on the ground that ruin a picture. So we're looking at pictures before we post them. And Peter fires off a couple pictures on Instagram going, I didn't want to do that, but whatever, that's fine. Within the hour, we're getting calls from John Buck and the guys at Rod Shows going, what goes on that chassis? And we're like, oh, it's a Roadster. We need it for AMBR this year. And I'm like, there's not enough time. And this is in June.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, what do you mean there's not enough time? And there's not enough time. So we get to the Roadster show, and our buddy, and he's a buddy of ours for years. He's kind of like telling us, if we would have brought it, we would have won. And I go, yeah, but if we would have brought it, we would have lost it. We wouldn't have been able to give it everything we had. So if you want to do it, we've got enough time.
We're gonna take a whole other
We're
year.
going to take a year and we're going to do it right. So we already knew at Grand National the year before that we were going to do it. We already knew that Troy was bringing Ross Myers 36. It wasn't a
Mhm.
surprise to us. We knew. We just knew that if we were going to show up with a car, it needed to be 100%, even if it was 70%, 60% of the car that Ross brought. It needed to be 100%. Like there was no.
We're not gonna show up with a car that's,
You don't want to walk away going, if I held it for a year or
I could have made this better.
yeah. So
We spent a lot of time looking at that car going, is there anything I want to change?
you work on it for the day and then you take pictures before you leave and you analyze the pictures when you get home and then you come back with a list of things you want to change based on the pictures. We shot the chassis during the summer and we invited guys like Ryan Reed and some of the other builders and stuff around here that we knew that weren't competing. Like, come look at it, and
It's pretty cool.
you know, there's a whiteboard in the corner, and write your comments. Just write your comments on this whiteboard. I'm not going to take it to heart. Just tell me what you see because I'm so sick of looking at
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
it. And we got a lot of good feedback. But in the back of our heads, we knew we had to be done by about November.
Because we were gonna put
This truck together. It was we had said that we'd never push for a deadline, but if it's conceivable, and Mick started getting close on the truck, it was like, okay, we're gonna push to do 2 of these, and we bellied up to the bar and we said, okay, Rod Shows, we're gonna bring the car for AMBR, but I need another spot next to it in building 4. I'm gonna unveil the last Bob Bowder car. We hadn't shown people really what we were doing. Like for about a year, we didn't post anything on social media.
So how hard was that to top John Buck into letting? Because that's not. That
We
whole
sent
end of
him
that building is.
We sent him
Amber.
pictures of the car in black sealer all together sitting on the ground. And when you send a car over that sits that, like, and we're 100% biased, nothing sits like that with the Bowder stance, the chopped up ET3s on the front.
Yeah, I was looking
static.
through my messages that we. Who do I talk to on social media?
That's me.
And you sent me a picture, like a teaser of that truck sitting on the ground.
The black one?
Yeah, just so you know that my buddy is like 5'4" or something like that. To let you know how little and how angry that thing is.
Yeah, that's the same picture we sent to Rod Shows. We said, we need this spot, but I want to put the 2 cars right next to each other.
They wanted us to put it in Sloniker.
And we said, no, that's okay. And then we started hearing that all the guys were dropping and cars weren't going to show up, and they pushed on us again, and we said no. And they did a couple different, stabs at it, and we just said no, we want to show it on the ground. We don't want to put it on a display. So we didn't want to take the attention away from Scott's because that car has a bunch of history and you're competing for AMBR, and it's not fair to kind of take the spotlight off of one customer and put it on another customer and then spread us out across 2 buildings. Mm-hmm. Like, we wanted it to be the Bowder, Chapouris, the whole group, the family. I mean, because if you were there for judging, the entourage was huge. I mean, it was 200 people in there, all wearing Veazie Brothers and Lorenzini shirts, and you show up with a blown injected Donovan powered Roadster. And while they're setting the car up and everybody's high-fiving and emptying our cooler of beer, me and Evan slip back to the shop and we load up that little pickup truck. and kind of sneak in the back door. And we didn't even start it because we didn't want anybody to hear it, and kind of just roll it around South City's booth and come down the aisle and just park it in front of the SoCal booth. And we stood there for about 3 hours, not really realizing what we had done, as person after person came up and looked at that car. And we've always had this mindset, if we take a picture and post it, I want the real thing to be better. Like when you see it in person, it's got to be better. Like I don't want it to be a letdown. So
you probably don't remember what I said. I think I said it to you.
that whole weekend was a blur. Like
I said that truck makes my pants fit funny.
No, actually, I do remember that because if that's where we
And the
got it
Roadster
from,
too. Yeah.
I just sent that to one of our buddies, Mark Hers, because he sent me there's a picture of Evan's coupe after Outriders, and he goes, "That's my favorite Model A coupe," and I go, "I can tell your pants fit funny." So, no, we showed up there.
That we got the restraining order in the mail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you know, and you can tell he enjoyed that comment. Yeah.
Oh, well, no, but it was like we didn't know exactly what we had done. We had always just built the car the way we thought, and we started assembly the first week of November on that truck. Bare chassis the first week of November. And in 90 days, including sending it out to Mangus for an interior, had a done truck. That was, I didn't think that was possible. And we weren't home very often.
Great. We've always thought the truck was great. We told the customer how great the truck is, but now to hear it from all the builders and people that see it in person is pretty cool.
For us being the younger guys, to have people that we've looked up to for years give us such positive feedback. Like this is it 2 weeks?
Eastwood told us our shirts need to be $80 because
it's a winning truck.
Because it's a winning truck. The truck t-shirts need to be $80 a piece. So everybody's getting a discount because we still sell them for $20
for a t-shirt.
We're cheap. We refuse to raise our prices on our t-shirt. Like I like $20
t-shirts.
Pay $30 for it.
Well, no, but like 2 weeks before the show it was what, 2 weeks when we had our visitors, Richard and
yeah.
So, I mean, everybody knows Steve Stanford. Mm-hmm. Everybody, like we grew up looking at Steve's stuff, and he like it was the coolest shit. We get asked, "Hey, we're going to be at this thing. Do you mind if I bring a couple guests by?" And this was Kevin Doyle from Rod Shows. And I go, "No, that's fine. Just keep in mind we got to keep working tonight. I got to have Scott's car at interior tomorrow."
Don't show up with a cooler, is what you're telling them.
Yeah,
yeah. Don't show up, and we'll stop for an hour, and we'll kind of BS, and then you guys can go home, and then me, Evan, and Scott would come down and help on his own car. We got to get this ready. We got to go Sunday morning to drop it off at Mangus. So in walks Kevin, and he brings two guys with you, and he, like, "Evan, you know who that is?" And he goes, Not really." I go, "That's Steve Stanford." And we had our buddy Jack that did the wiring down here, and we're sitting there to get feedback. Like they came to look at Scott's Roadster, and everybody's looking at the truck, just because at this point you can see what's hiding underneath it. You can see the motor, you can see the amount of detail on the chassis work.
So and you're being told what the motor is.
So we started out with one of these really whiz-bang CTSV LSAs with the intercooler, and it's the ugliest thing on the planet to our customer. He hated it. So me and Evan started figuring out with our friends, Donnie Cummins, that's a big Bonneville racer and works for Holly, and Jack that did like our high-end, like the motorsports grade wiring on it. What can we do to make this better? And he goes, "Well, in the boat industry, we put Roots blowers on these. Let's do that." So we started buying the parts, and it started getting expensive. Like we were buying it because we didn't want to tell the customer,
like, "Hey, we want to do this, but
it can't be done.
We can't figure out how it's going to be done." So we're buying, but we're not even buying cheap parts. We're buying like $10,000 parts. I'm going like, man, if he doesn't want it, this is gonna suck. We're gonna own a lot of expensive stuff.
So we got to the point where we were in it in parts about 15 grand in parts. And we knew like, okay,
And we're stealing parts off of Scott's car.
use the blower to stack it up. And we're stacking it up and we go, okay, we can make this fit under the hood. That was the stipulation. Whatever we do has to be hidden under
He
the hood.
doesn't want a hole in the hood. So
We bring him over and he has Bob Rothenberg out from St. Louis. This is 2 years before at Grand National. They have their little meeting and then we go up Thursday on setup and walk around and hang out. So he walks in the room and I go, okay, Larry, we got to have a serious talk. We know what to do with your motor. And Evan walks over. He goes, now, if we open up the hood on your truck and it's this and you have, you know, a Roots 671 with an injector on it. He goes, I want that, whatever it costs, just do it.
So
That easy. And he goes, then he kind of an hour later, he goes, so what do you think this is going to cost? I go, it isn't going to be cheap. And he goes, $1,000. Yeah, it was $100,000 detour. But we took everything out of that LS block and heads and literally threw it in the trash.
yeah.
It's what is it, 6,100? What's the spec trophy truck class they race at in the Score Series? They do like a spec trophy truck where you can do certain mods.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a 800 horsepower spec LS class. We went to an off-road guy that builds those because he was the only person that would do a roots blown LS without doing one of those big RCD drive supports on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we started talking and we figured out over the process of a year how to roots blow the motor and hand built the drive and hand massaged every part.
It's so impressive that the whole time at the Grand National, probably not until the last day did I realize it was an LS motor.
And that's what
I was just looking at the blower and the hat and all the other details in the
No,
truck.
you open it up and you just look like it's like
It doesn't even look like it's wired in there. It just looks like a motor sitting. It's like you know, like you open up a ring box. That's what it was like. Our diamond was just sitting there. We made it look like it's not even wired. It just
Okay, you know what it
sitting.
reminds me of? One of the best episodes of the Dukes of Hazzard. Uncle Jesse had a moonshine running Mustang, but when they opened the hood, it was the worst Hollywood edit that was a roots blown injected hat blower motor underneath it. There was no way it would have fit in that Mustang. I was like, as a little 12-year-old Timmy, I was like, that's the raddest thing ever. And I don't even think it was a Ford motor that was even in it. It was, you know, Hollywood.
No, but
Yeah.
it had to have that. We knew it had to have that. Wow.
It only clears the hood by like 3/4 of an inch.
We were the first time we put the hood on, it closed that with it painted. We had the Play-Doh out on top of it, and we're just slowly closing it. You got people with flashlights. We've got one of those probe cameras up there watching it. And we had about 3/4 of an inch of Play-Doh, and it didn't even touch at the one corner. We're like, oh, that worked out real good. But it was, I mean, we didn't know, like, the response we've gotten from that truck is just unreal.
So
But it's hard for us
what
to.
does Steve Stanford say when he's? I interrupted you when you said about the motor, but what did Stanford?
He saw it. And he was like, they all came to look at the AMBR car because everybody had heard about this car. And then he walked over and he goes, I was coming to see one car. And he goes, what you guys have done with two cars simultaneously, I don't think anybody else in the country can pull that off. And and it's more, they didn't like, it was so much to take in. And then you're hearing all this, like this feedback about how great it is. And he goes, this one's really, really nice, but, and he kept
there's
going
other
back to
shops
the
that
truck.
can do it, but they got 30 guys.
Yeah. We don't.
No,
My body was feeling it.
Yeah,
And they have 30 guys.
you're not meant to work 40 plus hours straight, multiple weekends in a row, or like, and somebody asked us how we did, and we worked backwards on a calendar and we looked at it and we went, if you work a 16-hour day by Wednesday at lunchtime, you've worked your first week. So now at Wednesday, the back half of Wednesday from like lunchtime until let's face it, whenever we decided we were done, which would be 8, 9, 10, midnight, whenever we either started screwing stuff up or we started fighting something. So then we would stop and clean up and go home.
All night,
Twice.
but we did stay here past midnight a lot.
Yeah.
So
We
we're averaging between 90 to 100
hours a week. It was rough. Now, we also finished, and we didn't, and it still baffles me that we
actually finished 3 days early.
Yeah, by Sunday before the show, we were done.
I was like,
we had whiteboards with detail lists that we needed to clean stuff up.
I've never had that happen before, and that was kind of cool.
On Tuesday night before moving for AMBR, we literally had a pizza party here at the shop with the 2 cars and unveiled them to buddies that were in from out of town.
Probably had 30 or 40
people here, and had pizza and beer for everybody. And
that was kind of cool.
That's when it kind of started dawning on us with the 2 cars, and you're hearing it from builders now, that they've just got done with their push and they're walking in going, now we know why you guys haven't been anywhere, or you haven't been posting anything, or
why you never called me back.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, and
that's what our buddy was like, oh, they didn't go to this car show because they're too busy winning big awards. They don't just go to the local car shows anymore. They're too busy winning big awards now.
Oh, yeah. It was, we got ribbed on it for a while, and then people saw it all together, and it was like, oh. I mean, for your first time, you're going to the main room at Grand National, and we were just going to shake things up, and I think we
we had to step up our cost of our booth by a lot to go into that big building, so it was.
But I mean,
big.
It's pretty cool when you sell $10,000 in t-shirts in a weekend.
Yeah,
at $20 a piece.
I talked to people, of course I talked to everybody, and that was the fan favorite of which one you're taking to your garage at home. Like a couple of years ago, it was what's his name?
Wilco's car.
Yeah, that was the one. It's like, I want that one in my garage, and
well, and that's what we kind of had in our mind. We everybody knows Troy's. I mean, the work on that car is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
We can all admit that. Now,
I think it wasn't a slam dunk win. Like there's a point on Saturday going like,
we still have a chance.
We still got a chance. We might win. But yeah, no, we didn't. We knew we weren't going to win, but at the same time, it felt good hearing people tell us how great it is, and to hear like, oh, if I was going to take one car home, that's the one I want.
It was like that scene in Dumb and Dumber. You're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of how it was on Saturday night. We left there and we're like, well, you're just kind of floating. You don't know, like you're still like you're watching the judging group go around your car still on Saturday night, and then they walk from your car over to Trepannier's car, and you're going. They watch the group walk around that car, and then the other half of them comes back to your car, and then they kind of all gather up their belongings and they leave. And I'm like going, that's pretty good. Like they're looking at 2 cars and you're one of them. Oh, I feel like
Roadster. There's a lot of orange Roadsters. It was crazy.
Yeah, to roll in and try to be different. 3.
Yeah. I think Roy did one for one.
Yeah, Mumford had one, and then actually Roy built another car that his customer, that Tony Dorado, he with orange blown injected small block.
There was a lot of orange cars that year, so thought we were being different with the orange Roadster, and it was not different.
Now, the one thing we did fight Scott on, though, he wanted to run the raw magnesium wheels, which I think are on the cover. We told him we're going in there and we're gonna write this. We're gonna write a check by our conversation with the judges here on this is the way Pete would have done it, and if Pete built this car, we're gonna put polished wheels on it. And Scott is a collector of magnesium wheels. So he had another set that was polished, that we had repolished inside and out.
Sunday at that show, we took two wheels off and we put the raw ones on one side of the car and we had the polished ones on the other side of the car, which was kind of neat. They told us if we wanted to do that, that was fine, but the wheels had to be in the display. So we made a little coffee table with the other two wheels
To put our build book on.
We never took anything out of the display. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, it was, I don't know.
I
It was,
you like the polished wheels better, and Lorenzini
well, no, it
liked
was more so we sold that car to the judges and everybody as we finished the car the way Pete would have done it. And if Pete's going to put a car in AMVR, it would have had polished wheels. And we kind of dug our heels in and
Scotty needed to put
polished wheels on, to the point where we actually went out and bought a set of magnesium wheels to get the single pattern fronts for it, which Evan's not minding right now because he inherited a set of magnesium wheels for the coupe.
But
No, I mean, that's the same way we tell people about the Bowder the truck. The Willys pickup's done the way Bowder would have done it. The only thing we're guilty of is we took it farther as far as finish work.
I mean,
I read
We
in that article the wheels on the truck are like, internet
So-
hate. Somebody posted a picture of that. It was, I don't even know what it was on. I don't have Facebook. I only got Instagram. It was somebody an internet coverage of like a Haggerty page or something. All the pages.
I know
And one
exactly
guy-
which post. And my
He's like,
wife
"Oh."
told me to use restraint. They said the truck's beautiful, but the wheels are so dated. And I
or
just
played
went,
out or something like that. I'm like,
yeah, and it's like,
these aren't off the shelf wheels, dude. These
no,
are
and that's that's where I thought we were going to have a problem at the truck show. And I'll tell you about the wheels, and then I'll tell you my story from the truck show. And so we introduced the car and we said, okay, it's a Bowder car, and Bowder cars are set up around the stance and the rolling stock. And so the front wheel was a rear ET3 that Bob had Eric Vaughn chop up and make a front wheel for it. Those wheels are the spares from Bob's Roadster. They were given to the
didn't
customer.
he have
for
a
project.
sedan that kind of had that same look on the front too?
yeah, and actually,
Oh, the sedan's behind us.
the sedan's in our shop right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you sent me a picture of that when you got it in there because you knew.
Yeah,
like,
so
make my
Bowder
pants funny.
Bowder built these cars that he wanted you to be able to drive it, and by drive, beat the hell out of it coming down Highway 18 down the face of the mountain, and then make it drive just as hard up the hill without it overheating. If you could do that, the car was good enough. So he needed a wheel with a contact patch. So he did front. We tell customers all the time, if you want to run a front tire on an open car that's that wide, you better have the last name Bowder, or else we're not going to do it.
It has like 8-inch wide
By
front
wheels.
Mhm.
and 12s in the rear.
Yeah, that started out life as a two-piece rear wheel. So those were rear wheels that were cut, narrowed, welded together into a one piece, but made into an 8. The rears are two-piece ET3s. Well, even the judges didn't understand fully what the wheels are. And on Saturday afternoon or Friday afternoon, I get asked by one of the judges at the truck show, we have one question for you guys, and we figure you have an answer. Why don't the valve stems match front to back? I go, excuse me? He goes, well, the front wheel has a short chrome valve stem and the back wheel has a threaded and like a brass valve stem. And at this point, you're a couple adult beverages in and you're stressed the hell out. And I just kind of looked at him and I go, did you not listen to a damn thing we said during and I just kind of unloaded. I was like going the front and explained to the wheels again. And I go, but are we really that close where we're splitting hairs and we're down to valve stems? Like, I mean, at that point, I walked over to Evan. I go, I think I just lost it for us. I just
Yeah, they didn't
I went on a-
understand they didn't even understand that the back ones were two-piece with an inner tube in it, and it had to have an inner tube because of the two-piece wheel.
And so we did go through that. When we were putting the car together, we tried to chop up an inner tube and make it seal because we wanted to match valve stems, and that didn't work.
We took it to Eric Bond and said, "Hey, can you machine the front wheel down
To put a brass, like a threaded,
like thin out the aluminum wheel?" And he goes,
no.
"Do you want to ruin a set of wheels that you can't replace?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Then just leave it alone.
Alone. He said put a valve stem in it and move
Put
on.
a valve stem in it and move on. But we're not gonna machine these wheels down again. Like if we mess it up, you ain't gonna have a set of front wheels."
So like and it was a running joke in our booth because I think everybody that came by that we knew, Robinson,
They were like, "Oh, great truck, but the valve
Valve
stems
stems.
match." So we were like, it was a joke. Now it's
now it's a joke. Well, I guess if we didn't win, it wouldn't be a joke because I'd still be like dreaming about valve stems. But
There's also, I'm going to say, sometimes judges aren't. They look at stuff like that instead of the bigger picture of stuff. There on one of Chris Coddington's podcasts, somebody was talking about when Little John Butera built his polished Roadster. At one of the indoor shows, he didn't win whatever his class was in. He didn't enter it in the amber. And it was like, well, maybe next time you should like paint a mural on the trunk lid, like for extra, because it was polished. So he lost points on paint.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and see, like
what?
we're the first ones to say, like, if you come in and ask us to build you a show car and want to chase a trophy,
we're not your guys.
we're not your guys. Sorry. I want to build you a car that you want. And if there's a good working relationship between us and you, usually they end up pretty special and then it shows. And then
If it wins a trophy,
if it wins, it's great.
We were supposed to be doing an amber car for, and that changed. And I go, if we build an amber car, we're going to build a car that we still like. We're not going to build a judge's car because if you don't win, you have a judge's car instead of the car that you love.
Well,
so you still got
that was kind of our thought. Our thought with Sloniker is you're going to have whatever 12 people enter and one person walks away. You're going to have 11 losers and one winner. Like, build the car the way you want to build it. To hell with winning the trophy. Just go show it and enjoy it. If you want to do it as a bucket, and that's what we tell customers. If you want to put it in as a bucket list to say, I competed for this. I put it in AMBR because, we had that talk with Scott on the Roadster, and he said, I just want to do this with my dad because we're never going to do another Roadster again. All right, let's do it. It means a lot to us to be considered to do it. It's the Pete car. We're going to finish it in the building that it started out in. All the right people are still involved in it. Let's do it. If you want to come in and build a Riddler car in here, I don't own an ISCA judge book. We're going to lose. Like, I don't know how the points thing works. We have an idea, but what does it matter at that point? Like, I'm not going to slap more stuff on it and put more fluff and gingerbread on top of it. Let's build you a really badass hot rod. And if it wins, it wins.
One of our guys we had on a podcast, he was the Midwest Boyd Coddington to me, was Dale Besh. If you haven't listened to that one, go listen to that one sometime. And he had cars in the grade 8 at Detroit because customer says, hey, I hear about this Detroit thing. Let's take it up there. And this car was incredible, like late 90s, early 2000s. Hand-built Vicky, independent rear end, ZR, whatever, those Corvette motors, the overhead cams, the Z. Okay. Anyway. And he's like, I lost points because they found dust on the top of my transmission case that I don't even know how they got a dentist smear up there. And then he told like a couple stories of that. And he's like, that's when I quit doing indoor shows. He said, it's like,
yeah, no, we're not trying to build a car to win.
Now, don't get me wrong. We had 3 weeks of heavy cleaning on that truck before we took it over there for the truck show because we knew once we put it on a display that they were going to shine their little flashlight in there, their little dust finder. And we had the poor detail kit over here with Q-tips underneath that truck. Like, that was more stressful than putting the car together in 3 months.
And we spent a month cleaning it after Pleasanton and had the whole thing apart. And I'm like,
so you drive it around in the field at Pleasanton and through the fairgrounds, there's dust where you can't even get to it.
We had the grill out, we had the exhaust off, we had everything but the body off the chassis. It's not.
We had a 4-hour discussion on mirrors to go under it. Like, this is not so out of our wheelhouse. But then once you get it there, I think people had a different appreciation for that truck when they saw how much detail was hiding underneath it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was detailed like an AMBR car. So, I mean, I'm excited to see where the truck show goes. I want to see somebody do one of these Roadster shop chassis, and go through the hardware. I mean, we're gonna do it in not this coming year for Slonaker, but the following year. Same customer, but a 71 El Camino on a Roadster shop chassis, big block 6-speed car with all the whiz bang EVOD machine work. And we're going to do kind of our take on, a contemporary muscle car, but it's going to be kind of what we like, not following trends, not paying attention to what other people do. I want to see these guys that are doing these cars with the Roadster shop chassis start doing the attention to detail to the chassis. Like, I think that's why we haven't seen a Slonaker winner that's a muscle car. I mean, I think the
El Camino is going to be as nice as the Willys. So.
If not nicer.
But
that was my question. You're doing muscle car stuff too. Obviously, you still behind you have
still 30. They say 30. They say 32s are
I
dead.
hate to say it, but I think other than a couple shops, hot rods aren't being built. It's mostly muscle cars. Morrison, Roadster shop chassis swaps, EVOD wheels that look like a hubcap, your LS crate motor. I mean, they're amazing cars and they're driving them.
I don't know.
The hot rods aren't.
But
32.
So, but all you got to do is if you haven't driven one of these cars, like get in and go drive a really well built 32, like a Roy car, one of the SoCal builds from like. We have one customer that literally is hunting down all the SoCal builds, and we're doing like shaven haircuts. And hell, he's driving around a 20-year-old SoCal build that people are amazed that it wasn't just painted, and it's got, Halibran sprints on it, front and rear. And the thing is awesome. It drives so nice with the Richmond in it. Go drive one of these cars. There's nothing like it.
Building because we got 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
I got 5 32s in here.
Yeah, but don't worry about that Porterbuilt chassis thing over there. We're getting ready to go to Dino's Get Down too.
That's been to Dino's yet?
No, we haven't.
We will be.
It'll blow your mind because the cool thing is you'll see so many young families because it's free to get in for spectators. So people can go there that can't afford to go to the indoor shows or the outdoor big corporate ran shows. So Dino's such a rad guy too. You really have a good time at Dino's.
We're going to be there probably in another year.
Yeah, year to a year and a half.
We're going to have this Porterbuilt chassis airbag Coyote motor laid out on the ground. But it's kind of like I just want to show people that we'll work on whatever. But, I mean, our bread and butter's the 32s and these early hot rods. I mean, that's what I love to do. That's what I want to do all the time. But
it's a real narrow.
But I realize that you got to do other things too.
What is the average age for the 32 guys?
Probably 50.
Oh, that's younger than I imagined. Yeah.
Well, okay. No, Rich is probably later 50s.
Yeah, they're probably in their 50s.
Yeah.
And then you got
all these guys. These aren't the white hair group over here. Greg that owns the Bowder sedan he's right around 50. John Perry's floating right around 50, and Rich has to be right around 50. I mean,
I got one that's probably like in the 70s.
In the 70s.
But and then we got a group of younger guys out here in California that like the 32s. I mean, but
we still do a bunch of Model A's too.
I still do a bunch of Model A's too. I got a Model A coming in 2 weeks to do a front suspension chassis swap. He wants a real traditional style hot rod. And awesome. I mean, I always like doing those. So, I mean, they say it's dying, but it's every year we have another 32 or a Model A in here. I don't think there's ever not been a 32 in this building. There's always been a 32.
To me, I go to a lot of events doing all the MC and announcing stuff. The industry is definitely changing But like you say, there's still guys into traditional stuff and deuces and Model A's and
Well, I
you know,
mean, look at all these guys in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I really feel like that's the reason why we got called out is we're the only people in the hot rod world right now that aren't in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, hanging
all
out
my
drinking
buddies.
beer.
Yesterday, my one buddy says, "I still got room in the truck if you just want to come." I was like, "Nah, I'll go."
I Googled
we
it
have to
this
go to
morning to
watch our
see how
buddies
far of
do-
a drive it was. Like, I mean, I'm getting calls from people going, "What time do you guys get in?" And it's like, we're not going. We can't go because we got to shut down for Scottsdale now. Like,
Tell them
it's
you
not-
were too busy doing our podcast. Tell them
There you
that.
go.
Exactly.
There we go. That's well, we've said we're going to go for years, and we sent him entry for Evans 46. That's like a Fat Jack style sedan.
Hmm.
And
That's like the kiss of death.
that's when you say you're going to make it somewhere. Ask Robinson the next time you talk about him how his Burke's coming. He's doing about as good as we are. He's going backwards though and taking the body off.
But yeah, every time I send my entry form into that car show, you might as well just put a nail in the coffin that I'm not going to work on it the rest of the year. So now I have a change of plan is I'm not going to send the entry form. I'm just going to work on the car. And if it's done, I'm just going to show up. If they don't let me in, then I'll just hang out at the hotel and just hang out there because that's where the party's at anyways. It's in the hotel.
So give us a
parking
couple
lot.
hints on your car that you're doing for yourself. You say it's Fat Jack style.
Yeah, 46, two-door sedan. The front bumper guards drag on the ground. No air ride.
Nice.
Straight axle front.
Jack brackets.
Yeah, it has a Fat Jack front clip, Pete and Jake's ladder bar setup, coilovers, and I put an LS motor, but we got rid of the fuel injection. It's a carburetor, so it's gonna basically everything I didn't do on my coupe, I'm gonna do on this one. It's gonna have air conditioning, a big comfy seat, like I'm gonna sit on a couch, but we're gonna leave the outside all patina. Just it's weathered from sitting out in the desert, but all the stainless is going to be all straightened. But I mean, it's going to be it does have Halibrands on it. Well, actually, I think they're I think American Rebel are real rodder wheels. The Trick 8s in the back with the little skinnies in the front. But I mean, the thing, yeah, 135s in the front, and I don't know what tire. I'm looking at
230.
hiding behind.
No, 235, 75, 15.
But yeah, no, it's on the ground.
I have some Fat Jack valve covers and air cleaners. Remember when he made all
We
that
do
stuff?
have some Fat Jack valve covers that might find their way on there.
I bought some from Johnny, and they're going on my OBS truck.
He
I got the catalog from him the last time he was down.
he just brought us a catalog when they were selling all the parts, and it's pretty cool to see some of the parts in there, but actually we have some of those parts on this car, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't know, it's one of those things.
Found some more like weld in or valve cover caps and like weld in bungs with the Fat Jack Enterprises on it. So
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
well, then you gotta
No, I think 48 got the coolest ones, the gold valve covers with the Fat Jack script on them.
Yeah, so we're gonna
I saw those and that was like, oh, where did you get those? He goes, oh, John still has them. So because we're members in the Outriders with John. The next time we saw him, we ran over. It's like, can we get a set of those? He goes, well, let me go to my dad's place and see what we have left.
But yeah, no, I'm ever since I started building that car, I posted one picture of it, and John was like, "Oh, I gotta come see what you're doing. You're doing it all wrong. You got to make sure." And I'm like, "John, it's just mocked up. There's wood blocks holding the thing up off the ground." But he comes over, and now he's like, "Dude, you got to get that car going." I've owned it for 10 years now and never drove it, so hopefully this is the year.
I've always
It's
wanted
that
a
case in
46,
point
7
where
or 8 coupe because I want to do my take on a Fat Jack car also. I want a coupe or a sedan.
I heard this year at Grand National they're going to have a whole fat fender display in Building 9. So that's kind of pushing me to kind of get it going. So I don't know. It got work done this week on it, so we're making progress. So it's
I mean, you
it'll
can
be
probably
cool.
get it done if you just take one car to the Grand National next year instead of 2.
Yeah,
this year we are taking 0.
we're bringing. Yeah, we don't really have anything new that we're bringing out.
Well,
So
we're gonna have this 5 window behind us done in raw.
We're gonna do some work in progresses this year. But then we're gonna bring the Willie's truck back, and Lorenzini's Roadster will probably be outside. He'll drive it there. But yeah, no. I'm trying to stick to at least half a day a week on my own car to kind of remember why I work on everybody else's stuff. So but also I have 2 kids, and I didn't have kids when I built my other car, and we got
soccer games on.
yeah, we got soccer games on Saturdays. What were you calling the soccer player? What was that?
Grass fairies.
Grass fairies.
Grass fairies.
Yeah, we're grass fairies on Saturday.
Your boy's still, nobody's been caught chasing butterflies yet.
But yeah,
Dude,
no. So
one of my best friends, his daughter is in softball. And
Yeah.
that's all he does, like 6 nights, days a week. Not only is she in
Softball.
club, travel, school, pitching coaches, he's just every
Batting cages.
oh, I'm driving to a half hour to this town to go to the pitching coach. And it's like, that's all I do, man. But yeah.
But like we went to the soccer field on Saturday last week, and Justin's driving his Roadster there, and you should have seen the kids. They don't know what it is, but they
Yeah.
know it's cool.
We had them lined up like they were in front of the grocery store with the quarter machine horse, letting them sit in the car and take pictures and stuff. I mean, you can't just tell them no.
The
That's awesome.
kids nowadays aren't used to seeing that stuff, and I mean they don't know what it is, but they know it's cool, and they got their mom taking pictures of them next to the car, and then we let them sit in it and pretend like they're driving it, and
He
It's
probably
cool
lets
to see
all the
kids.
soccer moms sit in his car, doesn't he?
yeah.
Well, no, it's not even that. Like we took my car when it was done. It's on the cover of Rodder's Journal. We took it to Ventura and put it in Hop Up's building, and we're sitting there just hanging out in the building with the guys from Hop Up. And Evans, how old was Ethan? 4 or 5?
No, I think he was like 2.
It's been that long. He was standing on the front seat holding the steering wheel and just playing with the steering wheel. And I had to be 70-ish. Older guy came running up to me going, he can't do that. And I just looked at him and go, he can do whatever the hell he wants. Said, when I'm dead and gone, he'll still have that hot rod and he'll enjoy it just like I do, and I don't care. It's my car.
But my kids, I don't force it on them, but I think they'll get the car bug.
Yeah, I mean they're in their Lego phase, and they like building stuff. So I mean they're already kind of
If
ruined.
they go to the car shows with us and they sit there, and I make them sling T-shirts for us, but it's cool to see the kids like the cars. The kids nowadays they don't like this stuff. They like whatever. I mean, the cars they're into are whatever the Hondas and little. I don't even know what they're into right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But if they had somebody letting them sit in the car to get the bug, or an uncle or a grandpa or something like that,
I
that's
think we
how
probably
all of us got into it because that's what we
Yeah.
grew up around.
We probably spend more time telling, like, when parents come, oh, don't touch it. It's fine. You can't touch all of them. This is one you can touch.
I've always since we started doing this on our own, I've always had a car in our booth that my kids can touch because I'm not want them to be touching other people's cars. So we always have a
It's almost like a playpen.
yeah, it's kind of just to corral them in there. So we've always had the car, but I want to make this 46 a true daily driver, drive the kids to school. And that's where you get the most attention. You drive these cars to I've gone to little fundraisers at the school, and you show up in one of these hot rods and the parents and kids are going like,
Treats and stuff.
yeah.
Okay, so a parenting question. Do your kids ever ride the bus, or they have to be picked up and dropped off every day? That's a
They're
new
picked up
phenomenon to me. I don't get that.
They're picked up and dropped off, but not by me, by grandma. Grandma drops them off and picks them up. I don't know. It's changed. You used to be able to go run the streets when you were kids, and now, I mean, we can't let the kids go down the street. I mean,
I
they
don't
gotta
see one kid from the middle school even riding a bicycle. I seen one kid on a skateboard tonight.
Oh yeah.
No, we say that, but then like Evan, where Evan lives, this little community is like it's like almost a step back in time. Like
it's a younger community that I live in, just like a track home, but
Halloween, they're just running wild.
Yeah, Halloween and 4th of July is off the hook. There's people driving golf carts around the neighborhood. Kids are running up and down the street. There are actually kids riding bikes, which is cool. And I mean, that was our
We're
goal for the
BMX
summer.
people, and we're still involved in the BMX, so I like to see kids on bicycles.
That was our goal this summer. We made the kids learn to ride the bikes and stuff like that. I mean, I got my kid a BMX bike, and it was way too big for him at the time, but
You know, they make
I
them
was
for
like,
you too.
he can. Oh, I was riding it too. It was more for me than him, but it was still awesome. But yeah, his first bike was a BMX. Like I forget what brand it was, but it was cool. No, they're a lot lighter than they were when I was a kid. The bikes seem heavier. The new bikes are really light. So
Yeah.
I think I forget what brand it is. I don't know. I bought it from some high school kid that needed money, but I bought it for my 9-year-old. So it was cool. It was like $1,000 bike I got for $100. So
nice.
Perfect.
It was more for me.
Yeah.
So you told us about your sedan. Are you working on anything for yourself right now?
Working on Evan's sedan.
It's
We can't have two projects going. We decided we were going to buy a jet boat. That's gone over great because now we don't have a running jet boat. We have a jet boat that we just set the motor back in after a year.
Yeah, so we try to just do a project together. It takes two of us to get the one project done. So we're gonna
our next stab at AMBR will probably be my Roadster.
I think we're gonna get this sedan going, but then we're probably gonna disassemble Justin's Roadster and do it the way we intended on finishing it, not in bare metal, but kind of go through and do plating, and we might try throwing it in the hat and see if it sticks at AMBR in 2 or 3 years. So we kind of just do one project at a time together because the shop, everybody else's projects get in the way, and ours don't pay as well. So
we're terrible paying customers.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's like the painters say that, oh, all the painters, their cars aren't painted. It's like the fabricators never get to work on their own car either. It's like a house builder, their house is unfinished. It's the same thing. So
Yep.
but we were a lot more dedicated when we were at SoCal building our own car. But that was we had to have a hot rod when you're working at SoCal, you have to have a hot rod. You can't be driving around in anything else.
So we've talked a lot about AMBR, but I have a two-part question for you. The first one is, what is your favorite car show that you like to go to? And then the second one would be, what is a show that you've never been to that is on your bucket list?
Okay.
Well, the never been to has got to be Gathering at the Rock because once again we're not there.
We've been saying we're going to go for the last 3 to 4 years and never go. So that's going to be on our bucket list.
They invite my Chevelle every year because it's a hot rod enough to go, and I've still never been. So
yeah, I like it because it's more about getting there and probably less about the show, and there's more of a driving component to it. I'm not a sit at a show and kind of just hang out for the weekend. Like I'm gonna go stir crazy sitting there.
But
that's why I started announcing at events because I get real twitchy just sitting around. I
haven't been to a Goodguys show in a while, and then this year we did Del Mar and Pleasanton, and I'm not that kind of guy, but the way Goodguys runs their show is pretty good. Like I was really impressed.
I like their series of shows. They have the right feel, and I like that they end at a reasonable time so you can still go to dinner and hang out. And you don't have to be there
with the autocross. You can go watch some race cars for a while.
Yeah, you can. But you don't have to be there at 6 a.m. in line. You can kind of roll in at 9 o'clock, and you're not. It's a little more laid back, but I don't know. I guess we're kind of partial in the sense that the one show, I mean, we've only been going to it for 15 to 20 years, and now we're members. So if you haven't been to an Outriders picnic, that is it's like the anti-car show car show.
Which it's kind of one of them speakeasy things. You can't just go to it
you have to know.
You got to be invited by a club member.
You got to be invited by a club member. Each club member invited. Well, maybe next year will be your lucky year because you know 2 club members right here.
Call John Robinson and say, I need tickets, damn it.
I thought he left the club.
No, he's in it.
He's still in it.
He's
Maybe that's what he told me, so he didn't want to invite me.
no, it's one of those things. It's down in a canyon at this park
Oh no, that's
where they do like born
Outriders is
free.
different than early times, right?
Yes.
He's not in the early.
He left.
He's
early
in. Did he leave early?
Yeah, well, they're kind of just. I think they're just kind of fading out.
Okay.
But
But
at least the group of guys that he's in it because they come through here
we did
once a year for like a poker run deal.
we did a early times. They did a run through here and stop by our shop. But no, that picnic is. They don't give any awards. It's a like invite only, just to hang out. Every ticket you get a lunch and drinks. So
Yeah,
it's all included. So, but you got to know someone. It's like, and they limit it to 15 tickets per member, and that's it
yeah, it's
What
something
time-
like
when
under
is that one?
1,000 people.
in September. So third
Third Sunday of September.
third Sunday of September every year.
That's usually I work the microphone at the BMX Hall of Fame weekend in Tulsa. That's why I don't go back to Tulsa area for rock because we were there just a few weeks ago. But
Okay.
I
No,
got
it's-
invited to go to Rod Powell's picnic last weekend, and I didn't make it out to that either. I kicked
No,
myself.
it's
Mine
one
out
of
for
those things like you have the right group of people. You get a bunch of the old time guys, like the kind of the last generation of hot rod guys, mixed
Mhm.
with like the guys that are real active now. So I mean, you could walk around and talk to people for 2 or 3 hours and like just get lost in a conversation, and I mean, guys like that don't show up to anything car related, like Eric Vaughn, and have an hour conversation with just hanging out with Vaughn, and then go over, and then Jake's driving his tub. Like Jake showed up with his tub this year. I mean, just like it feels like it's the right group of people. There's nobody chasing a trophy. There's no.
Be hanging
See,
out.
that's
having a
why I
good
like
time.
Thursday setup day at the Roadster show because there's a lot of
Yeah.
them SoCal guys that come in on setup day that you maybe not see. Maybe they're not there because of the crowd, or you lose them in the crowd. But you can. I've met some of my
Yeah.
hot rod heroes on Thursday at the Roadster show.
I think it's more so you lose them in the crowd.
That's what I was saying is like that was big when I first worked at SoCal. We would move all the cars in Thursday night, but then we would stay there. I'd be wandering the buildings at 10 o'clock at night, just no one's there, just a small handful of people, and you could actually see stuff and see people have conversations where you won't like on a Friday and Saturday.
Don't go to the Roadster show to see everything on
But
Saturday.
I mean, those are Grand National Roadster Show I have to do every year. And
Mhm.
Father's Day LA Roadster Show was always, I mean, I've been going to LA Roadster Show since I was a kid. Like,
See, I've never been out to that. My buddy Zane Cullen invites me out every year, and I need to make it out there sometime.
but
I love the
that
Roadster show. It's one of my favorites. She's always working. She's out in the desert at King of the Hammers. Her company does stuff out there.
okay.
So
Yeah.
every year, me and my buddies start looking at a house to rent. She goes, "You're going to the Roadster show again?" I go, "Yes. If I can afford it, I'm going to the Roadster show every year." We've shown cars out there a handful of times, both show cars and then being invited in like the street machine display and the truck display. And
Okay.
Yeah.
I go even if I don't take anything. I like going out early, going to the shop tours, going to Marcel's, doing all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
It's one of those things. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't know what I should be doing if I wasn't there. So
I
Or
get
you
on
just-
my phone looking at it like
exactly.
I was tonight looking
That's-
at the Gathering of the Rock parking lot party.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
I should be over there emptying an ice chest in the parking lot, but I'm here. And that's are you guys are going to Scottsdale or
Yeah, I'm one of the autocross announcers, and then I help with all the award announcing too.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yep.
we'll partake in the parking lot festivities in Scottsdale with you.
But Father's Day weekend, LA Roadster Show is a little different. We hang out in the swap meet and we like to sling parts. So we usually just hang out there and barbecue. So that's a different atmosphere, but it's still fun. I've been doing that since
Yeah.
I was in junior high.
John goes and rounds up like 10 spots in an aisle, and we barbecue tri-tip all weekend. And
Just hang out. That
Nice.
one's a good time too.
Yeah.
Like, well, that was because usually when we worked at SoCal, we'd have a Thursday open house at the SoCal, and then Friday and Saturday and Sunday would,
Friday
or no,
show Saturday.
I don't know. Yeah, they've changed the dates around. But anyways, it was SoCal's open house was a pre to the LA Roadster show, so
Well,
that was always a big.
and Peter's carrying that on now too.
Yeah, Peter's doing a good job. He has a pretty big following with his open house that he's been doing at their new location in San
I went-
Dimas.
Were they in that place? I went to their party they had during the Roadster show.
Yes,
You couldn't walk in that building.
that thing was pretty packed on Thursday night.
Have you ever went and seen the guy around the corner in the back alleyway?
Oh, Larry Fader, the pinstriper.
Yeah, he's got the coolest place, man.
He makes my hoarding problem not so bad.
I always send her. I collect a lot of stuff like magazines, and I have a
Yeah.
lot of stupid shit. So I always
It-
show her pictures of that, and it's like, no, you don't need that much shit. But I'm not.
His shop's like a little museum right there.
It's very, yeah.
But yeah, no, you gotta do. I mean, I'm the same thing. Grand National is a must, but I mean that's like in our backyard, so
Yeah.
it's not. I don't have to travel to it. I mean, we got 15 minutes and we're there. So
Yeah, I had a 4-hour flight.
yeah,
If it was any farther, he probably wouldn't go.
When we got invited for the truck display, and we drove a panel truck out that I built and a buddy bought. I flew to Houston and we drove it out through ice, snow, everything. And I've been out to the Roadster show a bunch of time and showed customs and stuff out there. But driving out there in a car that I built, being a Midwest farm kid, never thought I'd even be to California, which I had been a lot of times before. But we drove around for almost 2 days of going to all the shops in Orange, going to Marcel's, Jimmy's Shines, Curtis's, Coddington, all this stuff, driving a hot rod that I built in California. It was like the coolest.
that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's the same thing as when we drove to Texas in the car. I'm like, dude, I put this whole car together and now I'm driving all the way to Texas to go to the roundup. But we had more fun driving there chasing
Mhm.
Roy Brizio and then driving back home than I did at the show. The show's just like,
Now with a group of our customers, just doing
yeah, we're gonna
like a road trip, like a loop up to like Reno, Tahoe, and back down. Not going to a car show, but just go for a drive.
yeah, no, it's
Pinkies do that almost every year. Him and his customers,
Yeah.
they do a road trip. This year they did go to Deuce Days up in
And
Canada.
we
They just do a
admittedly
trip every year.
we should have gone to that too. Evan actually was driving his coupe to the shop that day.
Thyrod. He drove from SoCal all the way up to Canada. He did like 800 and some miles in one day. Was already in
Mhm.
Oregon. I'm going. Maybe I should just keep going across the 210 and just chase him up the 5. But
Well, and then the day before, I turned down a free plane ticket to fly up there too.
but then at the same time, it was like we were supposed to go. Like we already knew we were supposed to take the truck to Pleasanton. I'm like, the problem is being a small shop. It's like you really got to pick and choose what you want to do, and you got to plan it out. Like if I want to do something, I need to know months in advance that I'm going to do it because it's basically going to shut this place down, and I got to kind of pre-work weekends to kind of cover the hours because we don't have a well. If we're not here, the shop ain't making money. So
That's right.
it's kind of hard.
Well, and then we hit Pleasanton, and we just did what, as business owners, we just told our guys, you have a hotel room, figure out getting there. We're going to be closed. We're going to leave Thursday. You can work Thursday. Send me a picture of your time card. I'll do payroll on Friday like we normally do. But you have Friday off, the following week's off for Thanksgiving, but you have a hotel room. It's paid for. You figure out how you're getting there.
So we're gonna have the 2 other guys go with us to Scott. So I think they need to experience it. I mean, me and Justin are getting like the firsthand experience, but they need to see the. I mean, I think the good. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Good Guys award is a little bit bigger than the truck award. I don't know. What do you think on that one? I think. I mean, they're both big awards.
The Wombat that they call it, it's kind of a new award, but I think it's going to grow into it is a big deal.
It's
But
got
the Good Guys thing, they take a qualifier at all these different truck shows, so it's not
It's
people
all
that
over
have to go to one event. It's guy from Raleigh and guy from Dover and Nashville.
Yeah,
and all
so
that.
The only
Have all
other
the
thing we didn't do this year that we're going to go back and try to do next year with the truck is we're going to go to the Triple Crown.
Yeah, we're gonna take the truck to Triple Crown next year. So
That's
we'll see how it does out there.
50 minutes from my shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like,
But you said we're not allowed to go to your shop. The door's locked.
Well, you can call for. Let me
I
know
was
ahead of
listening.
time.
You
That's
weren't
what
paying attention.
some people like. I guess I've got a bad rep for some of the car guys around town. It's like, well, he's the asshole that doesn't let anybody in. I go, no, you just have to be smart enough to either message me on Instagram or my email.
you
off
gotta
the website.
pre-warn me that you're.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just if you knock on the door,
gotta-
I'm not going to hear it because
It's a by appointment only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
can buy
otherwise
one.
you get we have a term for that. You get the guys that come by that are ask holes. They
Yeah, I don't
ask a bunch of questions and it goes
Yeah.
right into a black hole because they do the exact opposite thing.
Yeah.
They ask for your input and they do the exact opposite.
You have a couple of friends like that.
I have a couple of friends with shops, younger people that do that, ask me questions all the time, and then I help to a
Yeah.
point. Now Carrie's like, he doesn't listen to you. Just so
You're not as Google.
I'm not being as Google anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Try to help
No,
the
we
next
did.
generation unless they're stupid.
We didn't do it this year because of the truck show, because we already knew we were doing the truck show. So next year we're gonna do the Triple Crown and see
Nice.
what it does out there. I mean,
That show is ridiculous for the quality that shows up.
Yeah.
I'm one of the MC guys there, the announcer guys and interview guys. And we parked 400 cars in the judging area for 30 picks to come out of.
yeah.
I'm not involved in the judging there. I'm glad I'm not. I don't know how they do it, but man, there's some badass cars that don't get the little headlight sticker that come to that event. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, because going to the Good Guys show, and then we've been going around with those guys from that Lakeside with the square body, the 75, the light blue one.
Yeah.
And
that's
that
a
truck's
badass
really
truck, too.
nice truck. And I mean, they won early truck of the year at what was it, late truck of the year at Triple Crown. And that's what I was like, how do they do the judging at this truck show when you got some judges that like the late model trucks, some of them like early
Not to
trucks,
be
some
picky, but you know the downfall of that truck compared to your guys' truck? They didn't put pretty hardware everywhere in that truck.
yeah, I noticed that.
That's the only weak part of that truck if you're judging it indoors. But like that one piece of billet grill, the interior MTI did. I mean that truck is incredible. It really
No, it's
is.
a really
It does. And like when we were sitting there, like you're sitting there waiting for all the stuff to come out for Good Guys, and I was more bummed out
that
for
they
them not winning Truck of the Year late
Yeah.
I haven't
than we were excited to win Truck of the Year early.
Yeah, the truck of the
haven't-
year late that won it, that Scotch truck, if you've not seen that in person, it is
No, I've seen it, and
it's nuts.
it's
It's
incredible.
nuts. Yeah.
But I mean, you go around and you see these guys at a bunch of shows, and you're hanging out with them, and it's like
I
you
guess
just want to see like the guys that you're buddies with like do good. And I
So
mean,
the
they have an
story on
incredible
that
truck.
car that square body we're talking about that won its of the year at the Triple Crown. The
Yeah.
funny story is the truck guys are starting to learn that Bobby Alloway don't like stuff laid flat on the ground, don't like air ride.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was some awesome trucks last year that was there that could have been of the year in their category, and they laid them down flat. So people are learning. So the interior guy that was there, this MTI guy does incredible interiors. He told the guys with all there was 3 of those trucks, says set them on air ride 2 and don't drop it all weekend. So when they left it up at ride heights, which I like better anyway, they're still like that far off the ground.
Yeah.
And they drove in weird so they could turn it lock to lock. And he says they made eye contact with Bobby to know, hey, we can drive this thing lock to lock, you know? And then
That
they
was
so
that
then
was the
at awards, we know what when we're up there announcing the awards, who's winning what. But nobody, when you're out there and you're 30 cars, well, there's 45 because there's 15 builder's choice picks too.
yeah.
You don't know. They park you in a random order. It's not like a Good Guys that you already know what you're getting. You know you either got a builder's choice pick or celebrity pick or one of the top 30s. And the goal is, if you want to win one of the big awards, is be one of the last 6 that pull up. And the crowd is everywhere, so you can't tell. And there's cars coming from both sides. So when the upholstery guy, Chris Pate, was telling him, the guy, he's like, dude, we're the last truck in your age group we're got truck of the year. And the owner's pulling up through the crowd and he's telling him, he goes, I'm going to drop this bitch on the ground. He goes, you can't. He goes, they're not going to take the award away from you at this point. So he pulls up and he hits the switches and then the caddy that won Street Cruiser that Graham's did, they did the same thing. They left it up at ride height and then they pulled it up. And Tasha hit the switches and dropped it off. Bobby's just shaking his head. So yeah.
Well, that
Bobby
was one thing when we did
stuff.
when we did the judging, all those trucks would show up and they go in front of the judges, and then
5-point turn around the corner.
5-point turn around the corner, and then
Yeah.
they get in front of the judges and they drop it down on the ground. Well, we pulled around the corner.
Evan just goes, watch this.
I said, watch this. I turned around the corner. The thing, I was able to make the turn, not try twice. And then that was the first thing
We backed up out of there and did it again around the spot.
But
We
I-
backed up the aisle.
I told the judges that there is no air ride. This is ride height. Like,
And Mike Barsha came up and he goes, you guys have full turning radius at that ride height, don't you? And we go, mm-hmm.
yeah, it won't scrub the fenders. It
No,
can go
it's-
lock to lock. I mean, that thing's like 3 inches off the ground, and
Yeah. It's
it
bad.
barely clears speed bumps. But I think when we start driving, we'll have to raise it up a little bit. But
So
it
you
looks
guys
really
never
good.
have taken anything to the SEMA show before, have you?
no, we were supposed to take the truck to the SEMA show too, but the customer says he'd rather have us work on his other cars than spend a week at SEMA.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, what do you get out of SEMA? I'm like, I don't know.
We usually, if we go up for a day or so, but
I've been to the SEMA show we did when we debuted that gold and white car that Justin was talking about with Pete. I went a few times with SoCal, but not on our own. We were planning on taking the truck and putting it in Holly's booth, but then we decided that to not do it. It was like we don't really get that much
go,
benefit.
We've taken cars 26, 27 years, and we used to do new cars too. So sometimes we take, and I'm a one-man shop, a hot rod and a new car in the same year.
Yeah.
We did that 12 different times. We had new cars and we did hot rods 8 of those years.
Mhm.
So yeah,
it would be like really off the wall to see us do a car where we're going to debut it at SEMA, because we've always had this. I want to build something good enough where it can go be shown all summer, and then if
Mhm.
it's still good enough, be
And
at
the customer really wanted to show that was one of his things when he's like, I want to show a car at SEMA. I'm like, okay, well that's easy. We'll just build you a nice car, and then when it's done, we'll take it to SEMA. I don't want to do a SEMA crunch because half of those SEMA crunch cars, you sacrifice quality just to
Yeah.
get the car done for SEMA, and I don't want to do that. So
I'm going to Utah and help on. They're already painted and back from upholstery. I'm going to help a buddy's shop finish a couple cars for SEMA because I opened my mouth and said I wasn't doing a SEMA thrash, so I get to go help somebody else fit on theirs.
yeah, so our plan was to take the truck to SEMA, but then we decided and the cost of being out there for a week, and that's a big expense.
we circle back around to being a 4-man shop, and if we're gone all week, we're not making any money.
And then
Yep.
SEMA, and then it's 2 weeks later is Scottsdale, so it'd be 2 weeks out of the month doing show car stuff.
And then leave
Yeah.
right into Christmas and New Year's going to the Grand National. That doesn't sound fun at all financially.
But yeah, no, I like
Yeah.
making money too.
I remember one time we did the thrash on debuting a car at Pomona. It was a custom. And I remember I worked 18 hours on Christmas Day sanding the floor and wet sanding the bottom of the floor. 18 hours on Christmas Day. I don't want to do. I'm getting too old for that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I did a lot of long hours with SoCal, and
No, we purposely sent cars to interior the week of Christmas this year. Sorry, Ronnie.
Yeah.
yeah, we don't. I mean, I don't know. Those crunches aren't fun.
They're not fun on you as a builder, but it's not fun on the family either. Like,
No.
I hate to ask the guys here to work like on the holidays. Like, I'd hate it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, at the same time, I don't think we'd have to ask very hard. We'd show up and work part of the day and then go home.
We did do New Year's Day. We worked, and we did New Year's Eve, but we let them go early because they wanted to go do stuff with their family. So I mean, I don't know. Those crunches aren't fun.
Yeah.
If you have to, but I don't know. If the end's in sight, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
I won't say I'll never do it.
Well, we've talked 2.5 hours now.
What the hell?
Yeah. Is there anything that you forgot? Anybody you want to thank? Thank your customers. Thank your wives if you're married still.
I think the wives understand. They don't accept this. They tolerate it. That's about it.
We do have a lot of good customers.
Yeah, our customers are great. They're all really good buddies of ours.
It becomes a friendship. It's not even a customer by the time you're done. Like the guy that owns the Willys, we were at his house last weekend and had a fundraiser, and he raised about $20,000 for the veterans. And we were over there hanging out. But it's a lot better when you come to a party at his house and know that you won Truck of the Year and you just won a Wombat. So,
and when you do a car like this is a different business. It's not like you're doing a collision job and the car's in and out. No. I always we like to meet the people if we're going to build a big car for somebody. And I don't want to work for assholes anymore. I've worked for a few assholes, not all, just a few. And you end up traveling and going to shows and hanging out and talking on the phone. So you want both sides to be enjoyable. You want them to have fun. You want to be able to enjoy as much as you can of your work. And working for idiots just ain't worth it anymore. So
no, and then some of
there's a lot of super rad people in this industry that are clients that come to guys like us that basically want
the guy that owns the Willys, Larry, we've done several partials for him, and the Willys was the first hardcore ground up deal.
Yeah.
And he's one of the first customers that we had as a new business, but he called us on a Sunday afternoon just to thank us because we exceeded his expectations on a 32 sedan. And we haven't had a lot of customers. We get customers that call when there's a problem, but to have one call on a Sunday afternoon
just to tell you thank you is pretty
just to say thank you. That's when you know you have a good customer.
I mean, and then
on a Sunday afternoon, you're looking at your phone, it's like, oh shit, the car broke down.
Do I really want to
answer that?
Yeah, do I want to answer it? He's broken down on the side of the road. He wants me to come pick up his car.
Yeah. And it's like when people say, oh, like this place has this many reviews online. It's hard. It's easy to get a bad review, but to get one person that has to go out of the way to do a good one.
But
to have a customer go out of the way and call you.
I mean, you have a shop. I mean, it's stressful at times, but at the same time, when you finish a project like this and you're driving down the street, test driving, and you're going, well, the job's not that bad. I mean, you're driving around in $1 million car and and then you go to these shows and people are telling you how great it is. And that's part of the job too, is doing the shows. And I mean, that's what I was trying to tell my wife. She thinks we're going to the shows hanging out. I'm going, it's part of the business is going there. And then that's work too. And that's part of what you got to do.
They're going to listen to this podcast, but again, you say you can't drink in the booth. Say that again so your women can hear that.
You can't drink in the SoCal booth. The Veazie Brothers booth is completely different policy. But no, you sit there and it's like you end up talking shop all weekend, and you go back to it Monday and it's like you didn't have the time off, even though you were
at a car show hanging out all weekend. But
it's not bad work. It's still part of the work because you're out there.
It's just part of the work.
Yeah, dealing with your customers, hopefully talking to new customers, slinging some T-shirts, and it's still work. But
that's what we got to remember to do when we go to Scottsdale is bring T-shirts. Because when we went to Pleasanton, we were just up there hanging out, and we had not one shirt, but we had like 20 people tell us, you don't have any shirts with you, so we will have shirts in Pleasanton. So
the cost of being on the Strange Motion Way podcast is a XX T-shirt.
Okay.
Well, no, you're a XX tall.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So my butt crack. But not a lot of people.
So you can work under the lift and pick your hands up, and you don't
show your belly.
Show everything off. No,
I work by myself, so I can work naked and nobody cares.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll square up with you in Scottsdale. We'll get you a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right, awesome.
Well, we want to thank the Veazie Brothers for being on the Strange Motion Way podcast. Congratulations on all your amazing success this year. The Orange Roadster. the cover, both vehicles on the cover. The Wombat, the world's most beautiful truck, and Good
Always
Guys Truck
wanted
of the Year early. So, yeah, I think 48 calls it the Wombat. That's why I heard it the first time was the Wombat. So,
I just heard it at the show and I was like,
I
wow,
like that.
it works.
Yeah.
But thank you for having us.
Yeah, no, it's every time we do one of these, it amazes us that we can keep talking for this long. But no, I mean, they're fun.
And thanks for staying home from the Rock just to do our podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We did it just for you. I knew you were going to be hurt if we couldn't fit this one in.
If Jason hits you up or Brandon, just say, well, it's Tim's fault. Yeah.
It was Tim's fault.
All right.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
The Strange Motion Way podcast, brought to you by
Royal Purple. Premium synthetic motor oils and high-performance chemicals have been designed to improve performance, provide long-term protection, and give you the confidence to push your vehicle to the limit. Royal Purple Premium Synthetic Motor Oils.
Hey welders, ready to upgrade your gear and save some serious dough in the process? The Miller Build with Blue Savings and Rebate Program has you covered. Find amazing deals and cashback rebates on a wide range of Miller products, from welders to plasma cutters and everything in between, all backed by our 3-year warranty. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Take advantage of the Miller Build with Blue program now. Visit us online or stop by your nearest Miller distributor today to start saving.